When you think about money, what comes to mind? Maybe new sneakers, video games, or a cool phone. And yes, money can buy those things. But for many, especially those with a lot of it, money isn't just about collecting stuff. It's about something much deeper. Imagine money less like a pile of shiny objects and more like a strong, invisible shield. Or maybe like the air you breathe. You don't really think about air until you don't have enough, right? Money, in its truest sense, is often about safety. It gives you options when things get tough. It's knowing you can care for yourself and your family. For ages, people have looked for resources not just for fancy things, but for survival and a steady life. Think about old towns with big walls. Those walls weren't just to look nice. They were for safety. Money can work like that. Consider this. If you have enough money, you don't have to worry about where your next meal comes from, or if you can see a doctor when you're sick. It's like having a steady, calm heartbeat instead of a stressed one. When you don't have to worry about basic needs, your mind is free to think about other things. Learning, creating, helping others. Money then becomes a quiet helper. It lets you focus on what truly matters, beyond just new stuff. So, while money can bring cool things, its real power is the quiet peace it offers. It's less about what you own and more about what you no longer fear. It's about choices, freedom, and the calm space to simply be. That's why it matters more than just the stuff. Do you ever picture what a rich person looks like? Maybe fancy cars, big houses, sparkling jewelry? Here's the thing. Often, the truly wealthy don't fit that picture at all. Real wealth isn't always about showing off. It's more like a deep, calm sea. Its greatest power lies unseen, far below the surface. It's about having choices, about not worrying about basic needs, and about a quiet peace of mind. It's not about spending money on loud things, but about having it, holding on to it, and using it wisely for freedom. Think about history for a moment. Long ago, wise thinkers like the Stoics didn't measure richness by gold. They focused on inner peace and control over one's thoughts. They believed true wealth was about needing less, not constantly wanting more. Even in more recent times, many old, powerful families have been known for their quiet wealth. Their money was often in things that lasted generations, like land or quiet businesses, not just trendy fashion. Consider an iceberg. What you see above the water is only a small part of it, maybe 10%. The real, massive bulk of it, the part that gives it power and stability, is hidden deep beneath the surface, completely unseen. True financial wealth is often like that. The visible stuff, the brand names, the luxury items, that's just the tip. The real power, the true security, lies in the part that's not shown off. Investments, solid savings, and quiet, smart planning. So, when you look around, remember that outward appearances can be very misleading. A person dressed simply, living a quiet life, might hold far more true freedom and security than someone always trying to impress. This teaches us an important lesson. Don't judge a book by its cover or a person's worth by their possessions. Real richness often lives in the quiet, unseen places, offering calm and genuine choice, not just a passing, flashy show. Have you ever stopped to wonder if the smallest choices we make really matter? We often think about big changes, big amounts of money, or big leaps forward. But what if the deepest truths about wealth are hidden in the quiet power of the very small things? Here's the thing about saving, even just a little bit. Each tiny amount you set aside, it doesn't just sit there alone. It starts to work for you. It's like planting a tiny seed. That seed, by itself, seems so small, so unimportant. But give it time, give it a little water and sunshine, and it begins to grow. It adds another bit, and then that new bit adds another, and so on. This isn't magic. It's a natural law, a slow, steady building. Wise people throughout history, they've understood this deep idea. It's found in old sayings, like a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. They knew that big things are always made of many small things, gathered over time. Think about how a huge, strong tree grows. It doesn't just burst forth fully grown. It starts as a tiny sprout, gathering a little sunlight, a little water, day after day. Each small intake of nutrients, each little bit of growth, slowly adds up. Over years, it becomes mighty, offering shade and shelter. Consider the ocean, too. It's vast and powerful, but it's made of countless individual drops of water. One drop, by itself, can barely be seen, but millions and billions of them, together, form something immense and unstoppable. Your small savings work in much the same way. $1 today, another tomorrow, then a few more next week. It might not feel like much right then, but these tiny additions, like the drops in the ocean or the growth of a tree, slowly build a powerful current for your future. They create a strong base, a solid foundation. So, it's not about how much you start with. It's about starting and then keeping on, quietly adding to what you have. This small, consistent action builds something truly big over time. It shows us that patience and the respect for tiny beginnings can lead to great strength and freedom down the road. It's a gentle reminder that even the smallest steps forward carry profound power. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to always have the newest things, but they don't seem truly rich? Here's the truth. Buying a lot of stuff doesn't make you wealthy. Often, it's the very opposite. Wealth isn't about how much you spend. It's about what you keep and what grows over time. Think about it this way. Imagine a bucket. Each dollar you earn is like a drop of water. If you keep poking holes in the bucket by buying things you don't truly need, the water just leaks out. It never fills up. For centuries, people have understood this. Ancient philosophers, like those called Stoics, believed that true richness wasn't found in owning many things, but in needing very few. They saw freedom in wanting less, not in having more. Consider a simple example from your daily life. If you get some money, you could spend it all on the newest video game or a fancy pair of sneakers. That feels good for a moment, but then the money is gone. It's just a thing now. Another person might take that same money and put it into a savings account, or perhaps learn a skill that could help them earn even more later. Over time, that small amount of saved money can grow, especially if they add to it consistently. The sneakers lose their shine, but the savings can become a safety net, a way to have choices in the future. So, while new things can bring temporary joy, real wealth isn't found in a shopping cart. It's a quiet strength, built drop by drop. It's about having options, about the peace that comes from knowing you have enough, and the freedom to choose your path without being tied down by what you owe or what you crave. It's about building a solid foundation, not just a flashy display. Have you ever imagined that truly rich people, the ones with vast fortunes, just never make a mistake with their money? It's easy to think they have some secret map, never taking a wrong turn. But here's the thing. They mess up. A lot. Sometimes, even the smartest, most powerful people make huge blunders with their cash. They buy the wrong things, invest in bad ideas, or trust the wrong people. Money doesn't stop anyone from being human. And being human means making mistakes. Think about history. Even kings and queens, with all their treasures, sometimes spent so much they drove their countries, or themselves, into ruin. They messed up with money, too. Have you ever thought that really rich people, with their big houses and fancy cars, always make smart money choices? Like they have a secret power? Here's the truth. They don't. Even the richest people, who look like they have it all figured out, have made huge, even embarrassing, money mistakes. It's a deep truth. Having lots of money doesn't stop you from making errors. Think about it. For hundreds of years, from old kings to today's billionaires, history shows powerful people making bad money choices. Kings lost their kingdom's money by fighting too many wars or building huge, useless things. Rich families lost fortunes because of bad investments or just spending too much. The idea that money protects you from dumb mistakes is a myth. Being rich doesn't mean you stop being a person who can make a bad call, get too greedy, or just guess wrong. It's like a super smart scientist in a lab. They are brilliant, with amazing tools and knowledge. But even they do experiments that fail. They might mix the wrong chemicals, or design a test that doesn't work. Their smarts don't stop every mistake. In the same way, a rich person might put money into a company that falls apart, or they buy something really costly that ends up being useless. Sometimes, they spend so much on fancy things they get into trouble. So, what does this tell us? Money is a tool. Like any tool, you can use it well or badly, no matter how much you have. Rich people, just like us, are always learning. Their mistakes show that knowing about money isn't just about big numbers. It's about understanding people, yourself, and others. It's a calm reminder that learning and staying humble are worth more than any amount of money. Have you ever looked at someone doing really well and just thought, they're so lucky? It's easy to see a big win, a moment of success, and point straight to luck. And sure, sometimes good fortune truly does play a part. But here's the thing, often, what looks like pure luck is actually something else entirely. It's a quiet combination of things happening behind the scenes. Think about a plant growing strong and tall. It seems lucky to get so much sun and rain. But for that plant to truly thrive, someone had to plant a healthy seed in good soil. They had to make sure it got enough water. The sunlight and rain are gifts, yes, but the plant itself had to be ready to use them. And its growth was also thanks to careful planning and consistent care. Long ago, thinkers like the Roman philosopher Seneca didn't just believe in blind chance. They often spoke about how luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. This means good things might come your way, but you have a much better chance of catching them if you're ready. It's like when you study hard for a pop quiz you didn't know was coming. If you've learned the material all along, getting an easy quiz feels like luck. But your knowledge was already there, prepared for that exact moment. So, what we often call luck is actually a blend of steady effort, smart choices, and being open to new chances. It's not about waiting for a magical star to fall. It's about building a strong foundation, step by careful step. So, when an opportunity finally appears, you are prepared to grasp it. This idea makes you realize you have more power than you might think in shaping your own future. It's not just random. It's a deep, quiet strength you build within yourself, ready for whatever comes next. Have you ever really thought about how money, those numbers in your account or pieces of paper, actually gets bigger? It's not like it just magically duplicates. The secret isn't hoarding it away, but letting it work. Here's the thing. Money grows when it helps something else grow. Think of it like planting a seed. If you just keep the seed in your hand, it stays just a seed. But if you plant it in fertile ground, care for it, give it sunlight and water, it grows into a plant, maybe even a tree that gives fruit. For a long, long time, people have understood this idea. Back in ancient times, maybe a farmer had extra seeds. Instead of eating them all, he might lend some to a neighbor who didn't have enough, expecting a few more seeds back at harvest time. This wasn't just about being nice. It was about investing in a neighbor's ability to grow more food. They both benefited. Money works in a similar way. When you put money into a business, you're helping that business create something new or hire people. If that business does well, it gives you a small part of its success back. Think about a small bakery. You give them money by buying bread. They use that money to buy flour, sugar, and pay their bakers. They bake more bread, sell more, and maybe even open another store. Your money, combined with others, helped that tiny seed of an idea grow into something bigger. And if you had invested in that bakery, your small share of money would have grown with its success. This quiet, steady growth teaches us something deep. Money isn't just a thing to grab and keep. It's like a stream of energy. It's meant to flow, connect, create. Its true power comes from being shared and used to build things. And as it helps others grow, it naturally expands itself, like a river finding its way to the ocean, getting wider and deeper. It shows us that real wealth often comes from contributing to the world, letting your resources become part of something bigger and better. Have you ever seen a super fancy car drive by and thought, wow, I want that? Many of us do. It's easy to imagine feeling important in something so grand. But here's a deep truth about wealth that rich people often know. Those flashy cars can actually be a really bad investment. Think about it. The moment a new expensive car leaves the lot, its value drops a lot. This is called depreciation, and it happens fast with luxury items. It's like buying a new video game console for hundreds of dollars. A few months later, a newer model comes out. Suddenly, your console is worth much less. Cars are like that, but on a bigger scale. They lose value quickly. Plus, They cost a ton to maintain, insure, and fuel. So, a fancy car can quickly drain your money instead of helping you build real wealth. It's money that just disappears. For centuries, people thought about what truly brings lasting value. Ancient philosophers often said chasing things just for show doesn't bring true happiness. They believed real wealth came from wisdom or inner peace. A shiny car might make you feel good for a little while, but that feeling fades. It's like a cool, new pair of sneakers. They feel awesome on day one, but eventually they'll wear out. The excitement comes from newness, not deep, lasting benefit. So, when you see those expensive cars and feel that pull, remember this. True wealth isn't just about what you own or how grand it looks. It's more about what you keep, what grows steadily, and what truly gives you freedom and security. Sometimes, the wisest choice is to pick what serves your long-term goals, not just what looks the flashiest. It's about building a solid foundation, not a fleeting picture. Have you ever wondered what the wealthiest people know that most others don't when it comes to getting richer? It's not about finding some hidden treasure map, and it's not even about working yourself to exhaustion every single day. Here's the thing. Their biggest secret isn't about making more money with their hands. It's about getting their money to make them more money. Think about it this way. For most of history, people earned money by trading their time and effort. A farmer works the land and gets paid for the food they grow. A craftsperson makes something and gets paid for their skill and hours. But at some point, some people realized that if they owned the land, or owned the tools, or even owned the idea for a new way of doing things, that asset could keep producing wealth even when they weren't actively working. This is how big fortunes began to be built, not just earned in a single moment. It's about setting things up so they keep growing. Imagine you have a tiny snowball. You start by rolling it a little bit, packing it tight. It picks up a few flakes. Then, as it rolls down a slight hill, it picks up more and more snow on its own. It gets bigger, faster, all by itself, without you needing to push it as hard. That first bit of money, invested wisely, is like that tiny snowball. It starts small, but it can grow on its own, gathering more over time. The trick is to start it rolling and let it do its work. So, it's not just about how much you earn from a job. It's about understanding how to make what you have work for you. It's a quieter kind of effort. This way of thinking isn't about being greedy. It's about learning how resources, whether they are ideas, time, or money, can build and create more possibilities for your future. It's about understanding the gentle power of growth over time. When we think about rich people, we often imagine them only gaining more and more. But what happens when they lose some of that wealth? Does losing money feel the same for everyone? The truth is, for many, losing cash isn't the end of their world. It's often just part of the journey. They don't see it as a permanent defeat, but more like a step on a long road. Here's the thing. They understand that money is like a tool or energy. Sometimes, you invest that energy, and it doesn't quite work out. It's a natural part of taking chances, of trying new things. Think about ancient philosophers, like the Stoics, who lived thousands of years ago. They taught that you can't control everything that happens to you, but you can always control how you react. This deep idea is still true, especially when it comes to money. Losing some cash isn't about the money itself, it's about how you choose to respond to that loss. It's a bit like playing a challenging video game. You're deep into a level, trying to beat a boss or solve a tricky puzzle. You make a mistake, and suddenly, your character loses a life or you have to restart the level. Do you throw the controller down and quit the whole game forever? Probably not. Instead, you take a breath. You think about what went wrong, what strategy didn't work. Then, you start again. But this time, you have new information. You learn something important from that loss, making you better for the next try. So, for those who truly understand wealth, a loss isn't a wall that stops them. It's more like a signpost, telling them to try a different path or to learn a new skill. It's a quiet lesson, whispering about what to do next. It reminds them that true richness isn't just about how much you have at any single moment, but about how well you can stand up again after a fall, how quickly you can learn, and how calmly you can move forward. It's about building a spirit that bounces back, no matter what happens. We often think of wealth as stacks of cash, shiny cars, or big houses, right? That's what the movies show us. But here's the thing. True wealth, the kind that really matters, runs much deeper than what's in a bank account. What if being rich isn't just about money at all? It's a quiet idea, but a powerful one. For thousands of years, long before banks or dollar bills existed, people understood wealth differently. Ancient philosophers, thinkers like the Roman Seneca, wrote about how inner peace, good health, and strong friendships were the real treasures. They believed that having a calm mind and a kind heart was more valuable than any gold coin. And that's why it matters. This idea has been around forever. It suggests that a life full of meaning and connection can make you truly rich, even without a lot of money. Think about a strong tree in a forest. It doesn't count its leaves or measure its height in dollars, but it's wealthy in its own way. It has deep roots, clean water, plenty of sunlight, and a whole ecosystem of creatures living around it. This tree is connected. It shares with its environment. It produces something beautiful and lasting. If it only had sunlight but no water, or water but no good soil, it wouldn't be truly healthy or wealthy. This can help you see your own life. You might have friends who are always there for you, even if you don't buy each other expensive gifts. That's a form of wealth. Or maybe you love learning new things, collecting skills, or simply spending time in nature. These are all riches that don't show up on a paycheck. So, true wealth isn't just a number on a screen. It's about how much you have that makes your life full, stable, and truly well. It's about knowing you have enough, not just in money, but in spirit, health, and connection. It's a quiet knowing that you are deeply cared for and deeply capable. Have you ever stopped to think about what you do with your money the moment it comes into your hands? For most of us, when we get an allowance or a gift, we often think about what we want to buy right away. Maybe it's a new video game, some snacks, or a cool shirt. But here's the thing. People who become wealthy often have a very different first step. They pay themselves first. What does that even mean? It means that before they pay any bills, before they buy anything fun, they take a piece of their income and put it away. Not for a new gadget, but into savings or investments, specifically for their own future. It's like setting aside a small part of every dollar into a special, untouchable jar that's just for them. This isn't about being selfish. It's about a deep commitment to their future self. This idea is actually very old, older than modern banks or even paper money. Ancient wisdom, found in old stories and teachings from different cultures, often talks about setting aside the first fruits of your labor. It's a core principle that a portion of what you earn is yours to keep and grow rather than being immediately spent on wants or even needs. It's a quiet act of discipline. Think about a healthy tree. It doesn't wait until it's struggling to store energy. It sends roots deep into the ground, taking nutrients and storing them before it tries to grow leaves or fruit. It builds its strength from the inside out, preparing for whatever comes. Paying yourself first is like that for your money. You are constantly building a strong financial root system, giving your future self the nourishment it needs to thrive, long before you might even realize you need it. It's a way of honoring your future and preparing for the unknown. This simple, quiet act of putting yourself first, financially, isn't just about growing money. It's about growing a sense of security, peace, and control over your life. Slowly building a future that stands firm, no matter what storms may come. Have you ever thought about how tiny actions today can change your whole tomorrow? It's a bit like that with money. Most people wait until they're much older to even think about how it really works. But here's the thing. Starting young, even just a little, can make a huge difference. It's not just about saving coins. It's about understanding the flow of things. It's about knowing how money moves, how it grows, and how it can help you live the life you want. Think about people long ago, maybe ancient farmers or builders. They didn't have banks or credit cards, but they understood planning. They knew that storing seeds for next year or putting aside materials for a bigger home was smart. This old wisdom, this idea of thinking ahead, is still true today. It's about foresight, about seeing what could be and preparing for it. This isn't a new discovery. It's a deep, human truth that has always made sense. This can help you in so many ways. It's like learning to play an instrument when you're young. Your fingers just know where to go. The notes become natural. Your brain forms connections easily. You build a kind of money muscle memory. It's not about becoming an expert right away. It's about getting comfortable with the basics, so it feels less scary later on. You learn how small choices, like saving a little each week, add up to something big over time. You start to see money not just as something you spend, but as a tool. So, this early start isn't about getting rich quick. It's about getting smart, getting ready. It's about feeling calm and confident about your future. When you understand money, you gain a quiet strength. You get to choose more freely in life. You can chase your dreams with a clearer path. It's about living with less worry and more peace. Have you ever wondered why truly wealthy people don't often chase exciting new trends or risky investments? You might think they'd be looking for the fastest way to more money. But here's the thing. They usually don't. Instead, they often pick investments that seem, well, boring. What does boring mean here? It means steady, predictable, not flashy. Think about an old, strong oak tree. It doesn't shoot up overnight. It grows slowly, steadily, adding rings year after year. Its roots go deep. Many rich people approach their money this way. They put it into things that grow consistently, over a very long time. This idea isn't new. Even ancient thinkers understood the power of patience. They knew small, regular effort often brings a greater reward than one huge, risky gamble. Imagine building a grand library. It wasn't built in a day. It was stone by stone, book by book, over many years. Each small addition made it stronger and more valuable. Here's an everyday way to think about it. Imagine you have a savings account. Every week, you put just a few dollars in. It might not seem like much, but over months and years, those small amounts add up. This is like how a tiny seed grows. It doesn't jump to being a giant plant. It adds a little bit of growth every day, quietly. This consistent, boring growth, often called compounding, is a powerful force. So, the hidden truth isn't about finding a magic shortcut. It's about understanding the quiet power of time and consistent, unexciting effort. It's about building something strong, piece by piece, that can stand firm for years to come. True wealth often comes from deep, calm patience, not from chasing after the brightest, loudest thing. Have you ever felt that little pull inside? That strong urge to buy something new? Maybe a cool pair of shoes, a new video game, or the latest gadget everyone else has? It feels like you need it to be happy, right? But here's a deep truth rich people often understand. True wealth isn't just about how much money you have, but how much control you have over your money and yourself. And a big part of that control comes from the simple, powerful act of saying no. It might seem small, turning down a candy bar or a fancy coffee, but each no is like planting a tiny seed. You keep your money close. You choose not to trade your future for a brief moment. For centuries, wise thinkers like the ancient Greek Stoics talked about this. They believed true freedom wasn't found in getting everything you wanted, but in wanting less. They saw quiet power in not being controlled by every new desire. They understood that if you always needed more, you'd never truly feel content. Think of it this way. Imagine your willpower is like a muscle. Every time you resist buying something you don't truly need, that muscle gets stronger. Let's say you walk past a vending machine, and you really want a soda. Your mind screams, "Get it!" But you pause, take a breath, and decide, "No, I don't need that right now." That no saves $1. Yes, but more importantly, it builds strength inside you. It's like a scientist watching an experiment, choosing not to interfere. You're watching your own desire without reacting right away. This builds a kind of inner power. This practice of saying no isn't about being cheap or missing out. It's about creating space. It's about building a solid foundation, brick by quiet brick, for something bigger. It lets you direct your energy and money towards what truly matters. It gives you a calm, steady feeling of true power, knowing you are in charge of your own path, not simply following every impulse. And that, in itself, is a hidden wealth that brings deep peace. Have you ever stopped to wonder what makes some people truly wealthy, beyond just having a lot of money? Here's the thing. It's not just about how many hours they put in. It's often about what they learn in those hours, and even outside of them. Rich people understand that the world keeps changing, and to stay ahead, or even just keep up, you have to keep learning. It's like breathing for them. They read, they listen, they ask questions, always trying to understand how things work, why people do what they do, and what might happen next. This idea isn't new. For thousands of years, wise people have talked about the power of knowledge. They believe that truly understanding the world and yourself was the real treasure. It wasn't about memorizing facts from a book, but about paying close attention to life, thinking deeply about experiences, and always seeking new ideas. Think about playing a video game. When you first start, you might just press buttons randomly. But to get really good, you don't just play more hours. You learn. You figure out the hidden patterns, the best strategies, the enemy's weaknesses. You learn from your mistakes. You try new approaches. It's the same in life. If you keep doing things the same way, you'll get the same results. But if you learn new moves, new ways of thinking, you open up totally new possibilities. So, the deepest truth about wealth isn't just about earning money. It's about earning knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. This kind of wealth isn't something you can lose in a bank crash or have taken away. It lives inside you. It's the quiet power of knowing more, seeing more, and being able to adapt to whatever life throws at you. It's a journey of quiet growth, step by step, mind wide open. Have you ever wondered how a tiny seed can grow into a massive tree over time? It's a bit like that with something called compound interest, which is a powerful secret about money that rich people understand deeply. It's not just about earning money on the money you put in. It's about earning money on that money too, like a ripple spreading in a pond, making new ripples. Think of it like this. You put a small amount of money into a special savings account. After a year, that money earns a little bit extra. That extra bit is called interest. Here's the magic part. Next year, you don't just earn interest on your original money. You earn interest on your original money, plus the little bit of interest you already earned. It's like your money starts having little money babies, and those babies also start having babies. Each year, the amount that earns interest gets bigger, so the growth speeds up. This idea isn't new. People have noticed this growth pattern for centuries, even long before banks existed. Ancient thinkers might have seen it in how crops multiplied, or how knowledge grew when shared. The famous scientist Albert Einstein supposedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, because its power is truly amazing. He saw its simple truth. Consistent small growth leads to huge results over time. Imagine you learn one new word every day. That seems small, but then you start using that word in sentences. Then you learn another word, and it connects with the first. Soon, your vocabulary isn't just growing by one word a day. It's growing because you're connecting words, forming ideas, and making your understanding deeper. It's like each new word helps you learn more words faster. That's how compound interest works for your money, and even for your knowledge or habits. It's about how small efforts, kept up over time, can create something much larger and stronger than you might ever expect. It's a quiet, steady force, building something big from something small, without you even noticing it happen day to day. It teaches us patience and the power of consistent, gentle growth. Have you ever felt really stuck? Like you couldn't make your own choices? Even small ones? Here's the thing about debt. It's like an invisible chain. When you borrow money, you're promising to pay it back later, usually with extra money called interest. This promise can tie you down. It means a part of your future earnings isn't truly yours. It's already spoken for. Think about how people lived long ago. In old times, people who owed money often had to work for the person they owed, sometimes for years. They lost their freedom. We don't have that system anymore, which is good. But the idea is still there. Debt can make you feel like you're working just to pay off the past, instead of building for your future. or making your own way. It's like you're always looking backwards, not forward. Imagine carrying a backpack. When you first put it on, it might feel light. But every time you take on debt, you add another heavy rock to that pack. Soon, it's weighing you down. You can still walk, but every step is harder, and you move slower. You can't run freely or explore new paths because of the weight you're carrying. You might even feel a constant pull, like gravity is working against you more than for you. That's the real problem with debt. It doesn't just take your money. It takes away your choices. It takes away your peace of mind. You might feel stressed, always thinking about what you owe. It can make you feel trapped, unable to chase new opportunities or take risks because you're tied to those payments. It's like a quiet whisper telling you what you have to do, instead of letting you listen to what you want to do. True wealth isn't just about how much money you have. It's about how much freedom you have. And debt, sometimes, steals that freedom away. Ever wonder why some people build amazing things that last, while others struggle alone? Is it just about being one super smart person? Here's the thing, truly successful people don't just create businesses, they create teams. They know they can't do everything themselves, and that's okay. They find people good at different tasks. They bring these people together. Think of it like a puzzle. Each person has a unique piece. When all the pieces fit, you get a complete, strong picture. A business built alone is like a single puzzle piece. It exists, but it's not complete. This idea isn't new. For thousands of years, humans have known this. Consider how ancient pyramids were built, or how great cities grew. One person didn't lift every stone. Thousands worked, each doing their part, guided by a shared vision. Ancient thinkers knew we are made to live and work together. Our biggest achievements, from fire to space exploration, come from groups. It's built into who we are. Think about your own body. Your heart does one job, your lungs another, your brain a different one. They are all special. But if your heart worked alone, would you be alive? Your body is a perfect example of a powerful team. Each part helps. They trust each other to do their specific task. When they work together, your body runs smoothly, letting you learn and grow. So, when we talk about wealth, it's not just about money, it's about how you connect with others. True strength isn't found in standing alone. It's found in the people you gather, the trust you share, the goals you chase. The richest life isn't just measured in dollars, but in the teams you've helped create and the people you've lifted up. That's a truth to remember. Have you ever wondered why some people, especially those with great wealth, seem so incredibly calm, even when the world around them is chaotic? It's not just that money buys them peace. That's too simple. The real truth runs much deeper, touching on ideas ancient thinkers explored long before banks existed. Here's the thing. Their calm often comes from a deep understanding of what they can control and what they cannot. Think about it. Many powerful figures throughout history, like ancient philosophers and emperors such as Marcus Aurelius, wrote about this. They taught that true peace doesn't come from owning many things or having perfect circumstances. Instead, it comes from inside you. It's about focusing your energy on your own thoughts, your choices, and your actions. Anything outside of that, like what other people say, how the economy shifts, or even the weather, is truly beyond your grasp. Worrying about those things is like trying to stop the rain by shouting at the clouds. It's pointless and exhausting. Consider a simple analogy. Imagine you're outside, and a big storm is rolling in. You can't stop the wind or the lightning or the rain, but you can decide to find shelter. You can choose to bring an umbrella. You can choose to stay calm and wait it out. People who seem genuinely peaceful often apply this same thinking to the bigger storms of life, whether they're about money, business deals, or even personal challenges. They accept what they can't change and focus their power on what they can influence. This kind of calm isn't a magical gift. It's a mindset you grow. It's a quiet strength, built on understanding that, while life will always bring unexpected challenges, your inner world, your peace, your reactions, your choices, remains yours to command. It's knowing that the deepest security comes not from outside possessions, but from within yourself. And that, truly, is a hidden truth about wealth far more valuable than any dollar amount. Have you ever stopped to think about what really makes someone rich? Is it just the money they have in the bank? Or could it be something deeper? Something about how they connect with the world? Here's a quiet truth. Helping other people, without expecting anything back right away, can often lead to more wealth for you. It's not magic, but it works in subtle ways. For a long time, people have known this. Think about ancient communities. They lived or died by helping each other. If one family had extra food, they shared it. If someone was sick, neighbors helped. This wasn't just being nice, it built strong bonds. It created a system where everyone was more likely to survive and do well. Philosophers from different times have called this reciprocity, the idea that giving creates a feeling of wanting to give back. It's like planting seeds of goodwill. Think about it like this. Imagine you're really good at art. You spend time helping a friend with their science project, even though it's not your best subject. You sketch diagrams for them and explain how to make the poster look good. You don't ask for money or a favor. But here's the thing. That friend sees how helpful and kind you are. Maybe a few weeks later, they hear about a school art contest. They remember your talent and tell you about it, or even suggest your name to the teacher in charge. That small act of help opened a door you might not have found on your own. It built trust and showed what kind of person you are. True wealth isn't just a number on a screen. It's the rich tapestry of relationships you build, the trust you earn, and the doors that open because of your kindness. When you help others, you're not just giving something away. You're often creating a connection, and those connections, in their own quiet way, can be more valuable than any amount of money. They make your life fuller and stronger, like roots reaching deep into the ground. Have you ever seen someone famous on social media, or read about a super rich person, and thought, wow, they just got lucky overnight? It happens a lot. We scroll through our feeds and see the big wins, the huge houses, or the viral videos. It can make you feel like success just drops out of the sky for some people, without much effort. But here's the thing. That idea of instant success is almost always a myth. What we see is usually the very tip of an iceberg, the end of a long, hidden journey. Most truly successful people, the ones who build lasting wealth or make a real difference, spent years working, learning, and failing in private. They put in countless hours when no one was watching. Think about a huge ancient castle or a grand old bridge. Those weren't built in a day. They took years, sometimes generations, of slow, steady work, brick by brick. People understood that great things need time to grow strong. It's like learning to play the guitar. When you hear a really great guitarist play a complicated song, it sounds so easy, so smooth. But you know they didn't just pick up the guitar yesterday and start playing like that. They spent hours practicing scales, making mistakes, hurting their fingertips, and playing the same chords over and over again. For a long time, it might have felt like they weren't getting any better. But each small practice session added up. Each tiny step, even when it felt boring, was a part of their progress. And then, one day, it just clicked. They could play. Real wealth, real skill, real achievement. It doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It grows slowly, steadily, like a strong tree from a tiny seed. It's built on quiet effort, on learning from every setback, and on the patience to keep going even when the progress is hard to see. Maybe the biggest secret isn't about being fast, but about being steady and persistent. It's about understanding that the journey, with all its hidden efforts and small steps, is where the true value is found. And that thought, that understanding, can bring a surprising calm. Have you ever thought about what happens when things don't go as planned? Maybe your favorite show gets canceled, or a big test comes up suddenly. Rich people, the ones who stay rich, think about this a lot. Here's the thing. They don't just hope for the best. They prepare for the worst. This isn't just about having extra money tucked away. It's about getting their minds, businesses, and lives ready for bumps in the road. They know that life isn't a straight line. There will be problems, challenges, and times when things feel tough. This idea isn't new. For thousands of years, wise people have talked about foresight. Think about Aesop's fables, like the ant and the grasshopper. The ant worked hard all summer, storing food for winter. The grasshopper just played. When winter came, the ant was safe, but the grasshopper struggled. This isn't just a story for kids. It's a deep lesson about getting ready for what's ahead. Ancient Roman thinkers also said to consider what could go wrong, not to be scared, but to be prepared. It's kind of like a student who studies a little bit every day, not just the night before a big exam. They build their knowledge slowly. Or like a gardener who checks the weather report, not just for today, but for next week, to make sure plants are watered or covered before a frost. They don't wait for problems to hit. They do the work beforehand. They have a backup plan. They know that even on sunny days, a storm could be on its way. So, they have an umbrella ready, just in case. This way of thinking brings a quiet strength. It's not about being afraid of the future. It's about respecting it enough to be ready. This can help you feel more in control even when the world feels unpredictable. It's about building a sturdy ship, not just a fragile raft, so you can sail through any weather. And that's why it matters. Not just for money, but for a calm mind too. Have you ever thought about what truly matters more? Getting perfect grades or being really good at something? It's a question worth asking and really thinking about. Here's the thing. Schools often focus on grades. They measure how well you remember facts or solve problems on a test, and those are important. But grades are like a map. They show you what's there, but they don't show you how to actually travel the path or handle unexpected turns. Skills, though, are like the vehicle. They are what you can do. Can you build something? Can you fix something? Can you write a story that moves people? Can you lead a team? Can you solve a problem that no one gave you a specific answer for? These are true abilities. For a long, long time, way before our modern schools, people learned by doing. Think about ancient times. A person wasn't just respected for knowing a lot of facts from books. They were respected for their ability to hunt, or farm, or build a strong house, or heal someone. Wisdom wasn't only about what you knew in your head. It was about how you could use that knowledge to make life better for everyone. It was about practical smarts, about being truly capable in the world. Imagine a chef. They might have gotten straight A's in cooking theory. They know every recipe, every chemical reaction in food. But if they can't actually chop vegetables quickly, or taste and adjust flavors, or handle the heat of a busy kitchen, then those perfect grades don't make them a good chef. The skill of cooking, the actual doing, is what makes the meal delicious, what makes the restaurant successful and well-loved. So, while grades are helpful guideposts, don't forget the power of truly learning how to do things. It's about developing your hands, your mind, your heart, all working together. It's about becoming a person who can create, who can solve, who can contribute in real ways. That kind of ability, that deep skill, is a real treasure. And it often leads to a different kind of wealth. One that is built on what you can genuinely offer the world, not just what you can score on a test. Have you ever wondered why truly wealthy people seem to know exactly where every dollar goes, even the small ones? It might seem strange. You might think they wouldn't care about a few cents. But here's the thing. They care a lot. It's not just about being cheap or hoarding money. It's about understanding the flow. Imagine a river. To know where it's going, you need to see all the little streams that feed into it, and all the tiny rivulets that branch off. Every single drop matters to its overall path. This idea isn't new. Ancient thinkers, like Seneca, talked about managing time wisely. They knew where every hour went. Money is a bit like time. It's a resource. When you track every penny, you're not just counting coins. You are watching where your life energy traded for money actually goes. It's about mindfulness, about being fully aware. Think of it like building a big castle with Legos. Each tiny brick seems insignificant on its own, but if you don't know how many red bricks you have, or how many small flat pieces you're using, you might run out when you're halfway done. The whole structure could fall apart. Rich people understand. The big picture is made of countless small parts. They track pennies because those pennies add up to dollars, and dollars add up to fortunes. They see that small, everyday spending choices can, over time, create a massive difference. So, Tracking money isn't about greed. It's about control, knowing your own patterns, respecting resources. It's about building something solid, piece by tiny piece. It's a deep kind of awareness, a quiet understanding of how small actions, repeated over time, shape enormous outcomes. It shows us that true wealth isn't just about having a lot. It's about knowing exactly what you have and how it moves. Have you ever stopped to think about what you truly can't get back once it's gone? We often chase after money, thinking it's everything. But here's a hidden truth that rich people understand deeply. Time is the real treasure. Money can be lost and then earned again. You can make more of it, save more, invest more. But time, every second that passes, is gone forever. You can't buy it back, not with all the gold in the world. Here's the thing. An old saying goes, lost time is never found again. Wise thinkers from long ago, like the Roman philosopher Seneca, understood this. He saw people often wasted time on silly things, acting like they had forever. He taught that we should guard our time more carefully than our money. Why? Because our lives are made of time. It's a limited resource, like the air in a deep-sea diver's tank. Once it's used up, there's no refilling it. Think about it this way. Imagine watching a movie you love for the first time. That feeling, that discovery, only happens once. You can watch it again, but it's never quite the same. That's a bit like time. You can earn money, spend it, and earn more. But you can't buy back the minutes you spent watching that movie, laughing with a friend, or simply watching the clouds. Those moments are unique. So, what does this mean for you? It means that how you choose to spend your moments, your hours, your days, truly matters. It's not about being busy all the time, but about being mindful. When you give your time, whether to learning something new, to helping someone, or even just a quiet thought, you are using something that can't be replaced. Your life isn't measured by money, but by the moments you choose to fill. What will your moments be filled with? Think about someone truly rich, someone super successful. Do you imagine them doing everything themselves, all alone? Here's the thing. Often, the very opposite is true. The wealthiest people, the ones you might think are completely self-made, actually ask for help all the time. They know they don't have all the answers. They know they can't do everything by themselves. They understand that trying to master everything alone leads to getting stuck. So, they find people who are experts in specific areas. And then they ask for their knowledge, their time, and their advice. This isn't a new idea. People have known this for ages. Even powerful rulers in ancient times had advisors. Think about Aristotle, a famous Greek philosopher. He tutored Alexander the Great, one of history's most powerful leaders. Aristotle helped him think and grow. Alexander truly relied on that guidance. This shows even people in charge needed other minds and perspectives to succeed. Imagine a sports team. The best player doesn't try to score every point alone. They pass. They set screens. They listen to their coach. They rely on teammates and coaches, asking for help to win the game. This is true for almost any big project. No single person builds a skyscraper. It takes hundreds, even thousands, working together, and definitely asking for help when needed. So, what does this tell us? Real strength isn't about knowing everything or doing everything on your own. It's about having the wisdom to know what you don't know, and being brave enough to reach out. Every great achievement is a story woven with many hands and many minds. Leaning on others, letting them help you, makes you stronger. It builds connections. And maybe, in the end, that kind of shared journey is a richness all its own, far beyond money. What if we looked closely at the things we chase in life? Do we truly need them? Or do we simply want them? This is a question far deeper than it first seems. It's about understanding the core of what drives us. A need is something essential for survival and well-being. Think about it. Clean water, nutritious food, a safe place to sleep, and even the feeling of being part of a community. These are the foundations of human life. Without them, we can't truly live or thrive. For thousands of years, people have understood this. Ancient thinkers, watching how humans survived, knew that basic security and connection were the real building blocks. They didn't have much, but they focused on what truly kept them alive and well. A want, on the other hand, is something you desire. It's an extra, something that makes life more comfortable or enjoyable, but isn't necessary for survival. Think about your phone. You need to communicate, yes, but you want the latest, most expensive model with all the fancy apps. Here's a simple way to look at it. Your body needs water to live, but you want that specific sugary soda that costs a lot and isn't really good for you. Water is a need. That soda is a want. One keeps you going, the other is just a passing desire. And here's the thing. Rich people often have everything they want, but they might still struggle to understand what they truly need. They might chase more and more, thinking it will bring happiness, but it often doesn't. True wealth isn't just about having everything. It's about knowing the difference between what's truly essential and what's just a fleeting desire. When we understand this, a calmer, more meaningful path opens up. It helps us see what truly matters, far beyond what money can buy. Ever wonder why some people just bounce back when things go wrong? Or get stronger after tough times? It's not magic. Successful people often see problems differently. They don't just complain when something hard happens. Instead, they look at a messy situation and ask, what can I build from this? Or, how can this make me better? They see a path forward, even when most see a wall. Think about ancient thinkers, like the Stoics. They believed you can't control what happens to you. A storm might hit, or you might lose something. But they believed you control how you react. They saw challenges not as bad luck, but as chances to practice wisdom, patience, or bravery. A broken leg wasn't just pain, it was a chance to learn patience. This isn't just about money, it's a deep way of thinking. Here's an example. Imagine you're building a Lego tower, and it crashes. Most kids would get upset. But someone with this mindset might look at the pieces and think, okay, that design was weak. What if I use bigger blocks for the base and try a wider shape? The failure becomes useful information. In science, this happens all the time. An experiment fails, but the scientist learns why. That knowledge helps them succeed next time. It's like your body when you get a cold. It learns from the sickness and builds a defense. The sickness itself becomes training. So, here's the thing. The real secret isn't avoiding problems. It's understanding that problems are often just disguised opportunities. They're like difficult puzzles. When you learn to solve them, you don't just fix the immediate issue. You also become a stronger, smarter person. It's about seeing the hidden lesson in every struggle, knowing that sometimes the biggest growth comes from the toughest times. Have you ever stopped to really think about the word free? Like truly free? Most times, when something is offered to you at no charge, it feels like a gift, a bonus, a win. But what if I told you that the idea of free often hides a quiet, slow cost that you pay later? Here's the thing. Almost nothing in life is actually free. This isn't a new idea. Wise people, from ancient times to now, have understood that every transaction, every exchange, carries a kind of balance. It's like nature, where nothing is wasted. Even what seems to vanish just changes form. Imagine you get a free puppy from a friend. No money changed hands. Great, right? But that puppy needs food. It needs toys. It needs trips to the vet when it's sick. It needs your time, every single day, for walks, training, and cuddles. The puppy itself was free, but all the things that keep it alive and happy, those cost you, day after day, in money, effort, and attention. This isn't a trick. It's just how the world works. That free puppy suddenly means less sleep for you, maybe less time for your video games. Your freedom, your resources, get used up by that free thing. Think about online apps. Many are free to download. You don't pay money, but they might collect your data, showing you ads or even selling your information to other companies. So, your privacy, your attention, becomes the payment. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? When someone offers something free, it's not always a trap, but it's wise to pause and ask yourself, what am I really giving up? What is the unseen cost I might be paying, even if it's not with money? Understanding this helps us make smarter choices, not just with money, but with our time, our energy, and even our peace of mind. It's about seeing the true value and the true cost of everything around us. Have you ever thought about how some really big things, like huge buildings or long journeys, actually begin? It's not usually with a sudden jump to the top. Here's a truth about wealth that many people miss. Those who become truly rich often have no problem starting with something tiny. They understand that every great fortune, every big achievement, often begins as a very small seed. Think about it like this. A mighty oak tree, standing tall for hundreds of years, started as a tiny acorn. It didn't just appear fully grown. It had to push roots down, then a small sprout came up, and it grew leaf by leaf, year by year. This idea isn't new. Ancient thinkers, long ago, talked about how big mountains are just many small stones piled up. They knew that patience was key. Building anything lasting, whether it's a strong wall or a successful business, means adding one small piece at a time. For example, imagine you want to learn to play a new instrument, like the guitar. You don't just pick it up and play a perfect song right away. You start by learning one chord, then another. You practice simple scales. It sounds small, maybe even boring at first. But each small practice session, each tiny step, builds on the last. Slowly, without you even realizing it, those tiny efforts add up. Soon, you can play a whole song. It's the same with building wealth. It might be saving a small amount of money each week, or learning one new skill, or trying out one small idea. The secret isn't in finding a magic shortcut. It's in respecting the power of small beginnings. It's understanding that patience isn't just about waiting. It's about steadily working, even when the progress seems slow. When you learn to value those tiny steps, when you see them as the solid foundation for something much bigger, then you truly grasp a powerful idea about how things grow, not just in money, but in life itself. Have you ever tried really hard at something, and it just didn't work out? That quiet, sinking feeling, like you failed? We've all been there. But here's the thing about those moments. They aren't actually endings. They are beginnings in disguise, showing us a different way forward. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a necessary part of the path to success. It's like a quiet teacher, pointing out what didn't work, so you can find what will. Think about people who changed the world, like Thomas Edison. He gave us the light bulb, right? But before that bright idea glowed, he tried thousands of materials, thousands of designs. People often say he failed 1,000 times. But he didn't see those attempts as failures. He saw them as steps closer to finding what did work. He once said he just found 1,000 ways that wouldn't work. His journey wasn't a straight line. It was a winding path of trying, learning, and trying again. This idea that you learn from what doesn't work has been around for a very long time, teaching humans to adapt and grow. Consider learning to ride a bike. You probably fell, right? A lot. Maybe you scraped a knee or felt frustrated. But every time you wobbled or tumbled, your brain was learning. It was figuring out balance, how to steer, how much to push the pedals. You didn't stop because you fell. You got back on. And eventually, you rode. The falls weren't mistakes you needed to avoid. They were lessons that taught your body how to balance and move. So, next time something doesn't work out, remember it's not a dead end. It's just a different path showing itself. It shows you where to try differently, where to grow, and where to become smarter. Don't shy away from tripping up. Those missteps are just part of your journey, shaping you into someone truly wise and resilient. They are secret pathways to deeper understanding and real strength, waiting quietly to be explored. Have you ever noticed how many successful people always have a book nearby? It's not just a hobby. For them, it's much more. They aren't reading for fun. It's about building something powerful inside their minds, searching for deep understanding. Here's the real truth. Books are like direct lines to the past and future. Each page holds thoughts, experiences, and deep wisdom from people who lived long ago or discovered incredible things. Imagine talking with an ancient Greek philosopher, a groundbreaking scientist, or a cunning business leader. When you read their books, that's exactly what you're doing. They learn knowledge isn't just power, but a hidden map. This map helps them see paths others miss, understand risks, and find opportunities no one else sees. It's about learning from others' mistakes, instead of making every mistake themselves. Think about this. Imagine building a huge, complex Lego castle without instructions. Hard, right? You'd get stuck or give up. But with detailed instructions, a clear blueprint, you could build it step by step. Reading books is like getting those instructions, not just for a Lego castle, but for understanding how the world works and making smart decisions. Every book gives them a new puzzle piece. They learn about human nature, how money flows, and how different choices play out. They are always updating their operating system, making thinking sharper. So, it's not about memorizing facts. It's about building a mind that understands deep patterns, cause and effect. They read not just to know more, but to truly think differently. This habit helps them spot and solve problems most people don't even realize exist. That quiet effort shapes how they see the world and what they can create. It teaches them patience, deep thought, and helps them uncover quiet truths hidden from everyone else. Have you ever thought about why some people seem to go after challenges while others try their best to stay super safe? Most of us are taught to avoid danger, to play it safe, to stick to what we know. But here's the thing about people who build wealth. They see risk differently. They know bad things can happen. They understand the chance of failure is real. But instead of running away, they walk right towards it. They see risk not as a stop sign, but as a path that might lead somewhere new and important. It's like they have a different map for life. Think about ancient explorers, sailing into unknown seas. They knew storms could sink ships or that new lands could be dangerous. But they still went. Why? Because the promise of discovery, the chance to learn what was beyond the horizon, was stronger than their fear. The old Greek philosopher Seneca said that difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. He meant facing tough stuff makes you stronger. This isn't just about money. It's about how you approach life itself. Imagine learning to ride a skateboard. You know you might fall, scrape your knee or elbow. It's a risk, right? You could stay inside, totally safe. But if you never try, you never learn the cool tricks. You never feel the wind as you glide. The rich, in their own way, are always trying to learn new skateboard tricks with their ideas and their money. They know they'll fall sometimes, but each fall teaches them how to balance better next time. So, it's not about being reckless. It's about being brave enough to face the unknown. It's understanding that growth often hides on the other side of uncertainty. It's a quiet strength, a belief that even if things don't go perfectly, you'll learn something valuable. That learning, that experience, can be far more precious than always staying safe. Ever feel like everyone wants things right away? Like you need the new game or the cool shoes the moment they come out? Money often feels like that too. We hear about quick ways to get rich, or people making a lot fast. But here's the thing. Real wealth, the kind that lasts and truly grows, holds a quiet, powerful secret. And that secret is patience. It's about understanding that some of the best things in life, including financial security, take time to build. It's not about being slow, but about being steady and smart. Think about ancient farmers. They didn't plant a seed one day and expect a full harvest the next. They understood cycles. They trusted the process. This idea of waiting for a bigger reward later instead of a small one now, wise people from long ago knew this was key to a good life. Not just for money, but for everything. It's like learning to play an instrument. You don't become a great guitarist overnight. You practice daily, even when it's tough, even when you don't see huge improvements right away. Each strum, each chord, each song adds up, and suddenly, after months or years, you look back and see how far you've come. Money works a lot like that. A little bit saved regularly, allowed to grow, can become something huge later. It's about consistent, small actions, not grand gestures. So, the secret isn't about finding a magic trick. It's about trust. Trusting the small steps. Trusting time. It's about building a strong root system, just like a mighty oak tree. Because deep wealth isn't just about how much you have today, but how well you've learned to let it grow for tomorrow. And that brings a calm strength that quick money never can. Have you ever wondered why some of the wealthiest people on earth give away so much of their money? It might seem like simple charity, something kind to do. But here's a deeper truth. Giving back often helps them just as much, if not more, than it helps the people receiving. It's not just about a tax break or looking good. It's about something much more fundamental. Think about it like this. If you live in a town, and that town is struggling, maybe the schools are poor, or people don't have good jobs, then even if you're rich, your life might still be harder. There could be more crime, less talent for your businesses, and a general feeling of unease. So, when wealthy people invest in their communities, they're not just being generous. They're helping to create a stable, healthier, and more skilled environment for everyone, including themselves. This means better opportunities for their businesses, a safer place for their families, and a more pleasant world to live in. Ancient thinkers understood this long ago. Philosophers like Seneca, a Roman teacher, wrote about how generosity isn't just a one-way street. He believed that when you help others, you're also strengthening the bonds that hold society together. And a strong society benefits all its members, especially those who have a lot to protect. It's a bit like a student who helps their classmates understand a difficult subject. Maybe they spend extra time explaining a math problem. At first, it seems like they're just helping others. But then, during a group project, those classmates are better prepared, making the whole team's work stronger. The original student benefits from a better project, a positive learning environment, and the respect of their peers. Giving creates a cycle, a kind of positive loop. This isn't about tricking anyone. It's a quiet understanding that a truly rich life isn't just about having money. It's also about living in a world that works well, where there's opportunity and peace. Giving back is often seen by the wealthy as an essential investment, not just in others, but in the stability and continued success of their own world. It's about nurturing the soil so that their own trees can keep growing. Have you ever wondered when rich people start teaching their children about money? Is it when they're teenagers or even younger? Here's the thing. Many wealthy families don't wait until high school to talk about money. They begin really early, sometimes when kids are just toddlers. It's not about big numbers or complicated investments at first. It's about ideas like saving, giving, and making choices. They want their kids to see money not just as something you spend, but as a tool that can build things, help others, and grow over time. Think about how people learned things a long, long time ago. Before schools were common, skills were passed down in families. A farmer taught their child how to plant crops. A craftsperson taught their child how to weave or build. It wasn't about memorizing facts from a book. It was about doing, seeing, and understanding from a very young age. Money, for wealthy families, is seen as one of those essential life skills, like learning to tie your shoes or ride a bike. It's something you learn by doing, by watching, and by having conversations about it every day, not just in a classroom. It's less about math and more about a mindset. Imagine you're learning to play an instrument, like the piano. If you start when you're very young, your fingers get used to the keys, and your brain builds pathways for music. It becomes natural. You learn scales and chords almost without thinking. But if you wait until you're much older, it's not impossible to learn, but it takes more effort to build those basic connections. Money is a bit like that. When kids learn about it early, saving pocket money, understanding needs versus wants, or even seeing how a business works, these ideas become second nature. They don't see money as mysterious or confusing. They see it as something they can understand and manage, just like learning to play a familiar melody. So, it's not about being born into wealth. It's often about being born into a way of thinking about wealth. It's about building a foundation, brick by brick, from an early age. It shows us that true understanding comes from early exposure and consistent learning, not just from what you suddenly acquire later in life. It's about planting seeds of wisdom when the ground is most ready to receive them. Why do some of the wealthiest people we hear about seem to avoid showing off their money? It's a question many of us might think about. Here's the thing. Often those who have true wealth, beyond just money, don't feel the need to impress anyone. Their focus isn't on what others think or how they appear from the outside. Instead, they find their value from within. They understand that real power, real peace, comes from being secure in who they are, not in the car they drive or the clothes they wear. They aren't trying to win a popularity contest. This idea isn't new. For a long time, thinkers and wise people have talked about internal richness. Ancient philosophers, for example, taught that true happiness and worth come from living well, from being kind, honest, and smart, rather than from having a lot of stuff. They believed focusing on what you can control, your thoughts and actions, was far more important than chasing what others might find impressive. It's about building a strong inner foundation. Think of it like a really old, strong oak tree. It stands tall and firm. It doesn't need to try to look impressive. Its strength and age are simply there. It doesn't wave its branches around or try to catch your eye. Its greatness is just a part of its nature. Or consider a student who is truly brilliant. They don't usually boast about their grades or how smart they are. Their understanding and ideas simply show up in their work and conversations. They don't need external praise to know their own value. So, this brings us to a deep truth. Maybe the biggest treasure isn't found in what you can buy or show off, but in the quiet confidence that comes from knowing yourself. Real wealth, in this way, is less about money and more about an inner state of peace and purpose. It's about being content with who you are, without needing the applause of others. And that's a kind of freedom that money alone can't buy. It's a calm, strong feeling deep inside. Have you ever thought about how little, everyday choices actually build up to become something huge? It's easy to focus on big goals, like getting good grades or saving money. But here's the thing. Those big achievements almost always come from a lot of small, simple habits repeated over time. Think about it like this. You don't suddenly become a master at something. You get better by doing it a little bit each day. That's what good habits are. Consistent, small actions that, when stacked up, create massive results. It's not about one huge effort. It's about tiny, steady efforts. People have known this for a very long time. Ancient thinkers understood that our character, who we really are, isn't formed in a single moment. Instead, it's shaped by what we do again and again, day in and day out. They saw how repeating an action, whether good or bad, slowly but surely becomes part of us, like a path worn smooth by countless footsteps. Here's what I found. Imagine a small stream, just a trickle of water. It doesn't look strong at all. But over thousands of years, that tiny stream can carve a deep, wide canyon out of solid rock. It's not the power of any single drop of water. It's the relentless, consistent flow of millions of drops, one after another, always moving forward. Your habits are like that stream. Reading just 15 minutes every night doesn't feel like much. But over a year, that's dozens of books. Saving just $1 every day might seem small, but over years, it becomes a surprising amount of money. And that's why it matters. Good habits are a quiet power. They shape your future, not with loud, sudden changes, but with the gentle, steady force of consistency. They build skills, knowledge, and even how you think about yourself. So, the real value isn't just about the wealth or success these habits can bring. It's about how they slowly, truly transform you into the person you want to be. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to get smarter or more skilled? It's not magic. Rich people understand a deep secret. The best place to put your money isn't just in stocks or fancy cars. It's in yourself. This means spending time, effort, and even money to learn new things, improve your health, or grow as a person. Think about it like this. For thousands of years, even ancient philosophers like Socrates spoke of knowing thyself. They believed understanding your mind and improving your character was the highest wealth. It's an old idea that what's inside your head, what you can do, and how well you understand the world is more valuable than any amount of gold. Many cultures, from ancient Greece to Eastern traditions, valued wisdom and personal growth. They knew empires rise and fall, but knowledge can stay with you. Here's the thing. Imagine your brain is like a muscle. If you want to get stronger, you don't just wish for it. You lift weights, you practice, you eat well. The same goes for your mind or your skills. If you spend time learning to code, or master an instrument, or learn to speak better, you're making that muscle stronger. It's like planting a tiny seed today. that will grow into a giant, fruit-bearing tree later. You might not see the results right away, but over time, that investment in yourself pays off in ways money alone never could. It makes you more capable, more adaptable, more valuable in the world. So it's not just about earning more money, but about becoming a person who earn more, solve bigger problems, and live a richer life, not just financially. It's about building a foundation inside yourself that no market crash or bad luck can take away. When you invest in yourself, you're investing in a future where you are always growing, learning, and capable of creating something wonderful, no matter what happens around you. It's a quiet kind of power, a steady inner light. It's easy to think that once you're rich, money worries just vanish into thin air, right? Like their bank accounts are magic shields. But here's the thing. Everyone, no matter how much money they have, faces tough times. Even rich people hit bumps in the road, financially. The big difference isn't that they avoid these moments, but in how they handle them. When things get tight, they don't usually panic or give up. Instead, they see it as a puzzle, not a brick wall. They ask, okay, what's the next smart move? They don't just have money saved, they have plans saved. They might have different sources of income, or a network of people they can talk to for ideas. It's about having options, knowing there's always another way forward. Think about a strong, old oak tree during a really bad storm. It doesn't stand stiff and break. Instead, it sways with the wind. It bends, sometimes a lot, but it usually doesn't snap. It finds a way to move through the struggle. That idea of bending without breaking is something people have understood for a very long time, through all kinds of challenges, not just money ones. It's about being tough and flexible at the same time. Imagine you're trying to build a huge, complicated fort out of couch cushions and blankets. Suddenly, your best blanket rips. A lot of us might just sigh and stop playing. But someone who builds forts all the time would probably grab another blanket, or maybe even fold a pillow in a new way to fill the gap. They don't quit, they adapt. They see the rip not as an end, but as a chance to be creative and find a new solution. So, the real lesson isn't about having so much money that problems never touch you. It's about having a certain kind of mind. It's about staying calm when things feel hard. It's about knowing that even when one path closes, another one will open if you look for it. Maybe the deepest kind of wealth isn't just what's in your bank, but what's in your spirit, the strength to keep building, no matter what. Have you ever wondered why some people buy really expensive things they might not even like that much? Maybe a super fancy car? Or designer clothes, just because others have them? Here's the thing. Sometimes wanting to look rich costs a lot more than actually being rich. When we show off, we're often trying to impress someone else. We want them to think we're successful, powerful, or important. But this idea isn't new. For a long, long time, people in different societies have felt this pull. Think about ancient kings who built huge golden palaces, not just for comfort, but to display their power. Or Roman emperors throwing giant, wasteful parties. They spent huge amounts of money and effort just to make a statement. But that kind of constant display often meant less money for important things, like caring for their people or building lasting structures. It was all about fleeting attention. Consider this, like a plant. A healthy plant grows strong roots deep in the soil, hidden from view. It uses its energy to get water and nutrients, making its core strong. Then, it can grow beautiful leaves and flowers naturally. But what if a plant spent all its energy just trying to look bright and showy on the surface? Without deep roots, it would be weak. It might even fall over in the first strong wind. It's similar for us. When you spend your money, time, and even your thoughts on things meant only for show, it takes away from building your own strong roots. Maybe it means buying something you don't need, going into debt, or feeling stressed trying to keep up. That's money you could have saved, or skills you could have learned, or experiences you could have had. Instead, that energy goes into just getting a nod of approval from others. So, what's really valuable? It's not the shine on the outside, but the strength within. It's the quiet growth, the peace you find when you're not constantly chasing someone else's idea of success. True wealth isn't about what you can display, but what you truly own. in your heart and in your life, that brings calm and true purpose, and that's why it matters. Have you ever truly thought about what money is? For many of us, money feels like the main goal. We work hard to get it, keep it, save it. But here's how some wealthy people see things. They don't see money as the final prize. Instead, they see it like a simple tool. Think of it. Is a hammer the goal when building a house? Number A. Hammer helps you pound nails. It helps you build walls, a roof, and a home. The hammer isn't the finished house. It's just what helps you make the house. Money for them is like that hammer. Long ago, before money, people traded directly. A farmer might trade wheat for cloth. This was called bartering, but it was hard when needs didn't match. So, money came along to make trading easier. It became a way to represent value. Money's purpose has always been to do something, to help exchange value. It was a helper. When wealthy people look at money, they don't just see bills or numbers. They see possibilities. They see energy, like electricity, that can power many things. They see a hammer that can build a school, a brush that can fund art, or a machine that can dig a well for clean water. It's not about owning the tool. It's about what you can achieve with it. Here's the thing about any tool. It doesn't have feelings. It's not good or bad. A hammer can build, but also break. Money is the same. It's just a thing. Its power comes from the hands that hold it, and the mind that guides its purpose. So, when you think about money, see it less as a prize and more as an instrument. What will you build with your instrument? What kind of world will you help create? It's a quiet thought, but a powerful one. Have you ever stopped to wonder why some people, especially those with real wealth, don't seem to chase after every new trend or popular thing? It's an interesting thought, isn't it? Fads are like bright, colorful fireworks. They grab everyone's attention for a moment, sparkle brightly, and then, just as quickly, they fade away into nothing. Rich people, the truly wise ones, understand this fleeting nature. They know that what's popular today might be forgotten tomorrow. So, here's the thing. Instead of chasing what's new and loud, they focus on what lasts. This isn't just about money. It's a deep way of looking at life itself. Think about the old stories, the ancient thinkers. They often spoke of building on what is strong, what endures, rather than what's flimsy or temporary. They talked about wisdom that lasts forever, not just for a season. It's like the difference between a sturdy oak tree, with roots that go deep into the earth, and a delicate wildflower that blooms for just a few weeks. The flower is beautiful, but the tree provides shelter and strength for generations. Consider this. Learning a timeless skill, like playing a musical instrument or understanding how the world works through science, takes time and effort. But that skill stays with you forever. It grows stronger with practice. Now, compare that to a new video game that everyone is playing for a month, then suddenly forgets. The game was fun, sure, but it didn't build anything lasting inside you. The wealthy person chooses the instrument over the fleeting game. They choose the deep roots over the bright but quick bloom. This mindset brings a quiet kind of power. It means they aren't constantly worried about missing out or keeping up. They find peace in what is true and steady, not what is hyped up and then gone. There's a calm feeling that comes from choosing things that truly matter, things that will still be valuable long after the latest fad has disappeared. It's about building a life on foundations that won't crumble, feeling steady and sure, like a calm, wide river flowing onward, rather than a restless, crashing wave. Have you ever felt like you were trying to find your way through a dark forest, without a map or a compass? Like you knew there was a path, but you just couldn't see it? Here's the thing. Everyone feels that way sometimes, especially when it comes to figuring out how to build something important, like wealth or a meaningful life. And that's where a mentor comes in. A mentor isn't just a teacher. They are someone who has walked the path you want to travel, someone who has already faced the challenges and learned the lessons. Think of it like this. For thousands of years, people have passed down knowledge this way. In ancient Greece, wise thinkers like Socrates guided younger students, not just by giving answers, but by helping them ask better questions. Before schools were everywhere, Young people learned trades by working alongside masters. A blacksmith's apprentice learned directly from the blacksmith. They weren't just told what to do, they were shown how to do it, mistakes and all. Imagine you're trying to master a really complicated video game. You could spend hours trying to figure out every trick, every hidden secret, every boss strategy on your own. It would be frustrating, and you'd probably fail a lot. But here's what happens when you have a friend who's already beaten the game, someone who knows all the shortcuts and secret levels. They don't play the game for you, but they share their wisdom. They point out things you might miss. They warn you about traps you can't see yet. They help you understand the game's deeper rules. This can help you avoid major pitfalls and get to where you want to go much faster, and with less wasted effort. A good mentor does the same thing for your life and your goals. They see the landscape ahead more clearly because they've been there. They can help you see potential obstacles before you hit them. They share not just facts, but deeper insights. And that's why it matters. Having someone wise to guide you, someone who genuinely cares about your journey, is one of the most powerful tools you can have. It's a quiet truth. We don't have to figure everything out alone. Sometimes, the greatest strength comes from knowing when to seek guidance, from allowing another's light to help illuminate your own path forward. Have you ever looked at someone who seems to always know what to do, even when things get really tough? It's like they have a secret map for making decisions. Here's the thing. Wealthy people often aren't smarter or luckier when it comes to hard choices. Instead, they make things simpler by having clear rules or guiding principles. They decide ahead of time what truly matters to them, what their deepest goals are. This helps them cut through the noise. This isn't a new idea. Back in ancient times, wise thinkers talked about living by certain values. They said if you know what you stand for, then when a big problem pops up, the path forward becomes clearer. It's like building a strong foundation first, so the house doesn't shake when a storm hits. This way of thinking helps sort out the important stuff from everything else. It brings focus. Imagine you have to choose between playing video games for hours and spending some time practicing your favorite sport. Both sound fun, but if your personal rule is, always choose what helps me get better at something important, then suddenly, the choice isn't so hard. You'd pick practicing your sport, or maybe you have a big test coming up. If your rule is, my grades matter more than immediate fun right now, then studying becomes the clearer path, even if it's harder. This works for big money decisions too. If a rich person's rule is, only invest in things that will grow over many years, not just quickly, then many tempting but risky choices get instantly crossed off the list. Their values become their guide. It's not about making tough choices disappear. It's about having a compass for your life. When you know your most important values, whether it's learning, honesty, helping others, or thinking long-term, those values act like a filter. They help you see which option truly fits who you want to be and where you want to go. And that's why it matters. Life will always throw difficult choices your way, big or small. But with a clear sense of what guides you, each step feels less like a guess and more like walking a path you've already decided is right for you. It brings a calm kind of power, knowing your own way. When you think about being rich, what usually comes to mind? Fancy cars, big houses, endless freedom, right? But here's the thing about wealth. It isn't always comfortable. In fact, sometimes it can feel heavy. We picture wealth as a soft pillow, but it can often feel more like a thick, weighty cloak. It brings with it a different kind of pressure, a new set of worries most people don't see. Imagine having everything you want, but suddenly, everyone around you wants something from you. Or maybe you wonder if people truly like you for who you are, or just for what you have. Think about kings and queens from old stories. They had all the riches and power, but were they always happy? History tells us no. Many powerful rulers lived with constant fear. Fear of losing their throne, fear of betrayal, fear for their own safety. The Roman philosopher Seneca, long ago, talked about how too much stuff can actually tie you down, making you less free, not more. It's not just about money itself, but about the choices and big responsibilities that come along with it. Consider a star athlete. They might make millions, buy anything, but suddenly every game is watched super closely. Every mistake becomes big news. There's pressure to perform, to keep up, to not disappoint. They might feel lonely at the top, unsure who among new friends to truly trust. Or, think about a simple idea from science. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Getting a lot of wealth is in simple action. The reaction can be unexpected burdens. More responsibility, less privacy, a need to protect what you have. So, here's what it comes down to. True wealth isn't just about what you own. It's also about what owns you. It can bring burdens as much as blessings. The real peace often comes not from how much money you have, but from how wisely you handle what you do have, and from finding comfort in things money can't buy. Things like real friendships, a clear mind, and purpose. It's a quieter kind of rich, one that truly feels lighter inside. Have you ever worried about something that just wouldn't change, like the weather on a big picnic day, or what someone else thinks of you? Here's the thing. People who build real wealth, the deep kind, understand a simple but powerful idea. They spend their energy, their focus, and their efforts only on things they actually have power over. They don't waste time stressing about stuff outside their reach. This is a big secret to staying calm and making progress. This idea isn't new. Thousands of years ago, ancient Greek thinkers called Stoics talked about it. One of them, Epictetus, put it plainly. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. Things up to us include our thoughts, our choices, and how we react. Things not up to us, that's almost everything else. Like other people's opinions, or if it rains tomorrow. Here's what I found. They believed true freedom comes from knowing this. If you focus on what's not in your control, you'll be constantly upset. If you put your energy into what is in your power, you feel strong. Think about preparing for a big test at school. You can control how much you study. You can choose to ask questions or to review your notes every night. You can even decide to get enough sleep. But here's the problem. You can't control what exact questions the teacher asks. You can't control if your friend next to you gets nervous. And you certainly can't control if you wake up with a slight cold. The smart move? Put all your effort into studying, asking questions, and getting rest. The things you can control. So here's what happened. When you truly focus on what's yours to influence, it changes everything. You become calmer. You're not fighting battles you can't win. You become more effective because your energy goes where it makes a real difference. It's like tending your own garden instead of worrying about your neighbor's weeds. This might work for you. This kind of focus gives you quiet power, a deep inner strength no outside force can take away. It's about finding peace in what you can do and letting go of what you can't. And that's why it matters. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to get ahead while others struggle? Here's the thing. It often comes down to a quiet power called delayed gratification. It sounds complicated, but it's really simple. It means choosing to wait for something better in the future, instead of taking what's easy or fun right now. Think about it like this. If you have a choice between one small cookie right now, or 5 bigger, tastier cookies if you wait an hour, which would you pick? Many people would grab the one cookie, because it's right there. But the trick to true wealth, and a lot of success in life, is learning to wait for those 5 cookies. Ancient philosophers, like the Stoics, talked about this kind of self-control. They understood that real freedom wasn't about doing whatever you wanted, whenever you wanted. Instead, it was about mastering your own desires. It was about seeing the bigger picture, even if it meant a little bit of patience. Imagine you really want that new video game, the one everyone is talking about. You could spend all your allowance on it right now. Or, you could save your money, maybe even do a few extra chores, and wait until you have enough not just for the game, but also for a new controller, or perhaps even a whole new gaming system later on. It takes patience. It takes a kind of quiet strength. This isn't about denying yourself forever. It's about making smart choices for your future self. It's about building something bigger, something more meaningful, piece by patient piece. When you learn to delay that instant reward, you start to see that the greatest treasures often aren't found in a quick grab, but in the slow, careful cultivation of what truly matters. It's a profound way to live, trusting that good things, truly good things, come to those who can wait. Have you ever thought about why people who achieve great things, especially those with lots of wealth, seem so incredibly careful with their time? It's more than just being busy. Here's the thing. They view time as something far more precious than any amount of money. You can lose money and, with effort, you might earn it back. But a moment, once it passes, is gone forever. You can't buy it back, and you certainly can't earn it back. It simply disappears. This deep understanding isn't new. Philosophers from ancient times, like Seneca, a wise man from old Rome, taught that life is long enough, if only we use it well. This means our days aren't just empty spaces to be filled. Instead, each hour, each minute, is actually a small, irreplaceable piece of our very existence. And once that piece is spent, it vanishes into the past, never to return. So, when someone guards their time fiercely, they are, in a very real way, guarding their own life. They are making a conscious choice about what their limited moments will be used for. Think of it like this. Imagine you're playing your favorite video game, but instead of earning new lives, you only start with a very specific, limited number of energy points for the entire game, and once these points are used, they are gone forever. Would you spend those precious points on random, unimportant actions, or would you carefully choose to use them only for the most important quests, the most rewarding challenges, the battles that really matter? You'd protect those points with everything you have, right? You'd see them as your only chance to play, to experience, to win the game. That's exactly how many truly successful people approach their time. Every single minute is an energy point, a chance to build something, to learn something new, to connect with others, or to create. They understand that every moment given away to something trivial is a moment taken away from something deeply meaningful and important to them. It's a quiet but powerful understanding that our time here is a truly finite, non-renewable gift. How we choose to spend it isn't just about what we do. It's about shaping who we become and choosing to truly live each precious moment rather than just letting it fade away. What if you could learn big life lessons without ever making a painful mistake yourself? Here's the thing. Many wealthy and successful people do exactly that. They don't just learn from their own slip-ups. They watch others closely. They see what went wrong for businesses that failed, or investments that lost everything. They study decisions that didn't work out. For them, these aren't just sad stories. They're like free, valuable textbooks, filled with wisdom. Think about it this way. Imagine you're about to walk down a path, and right before you, someone else tries to walk the same path, but they trip over a loose stone. You see them fall. What do? You don't just ignore it and trip over the same stone yourself. No, you step over it, or you walk around it. You've learned a lesson, not from your own pain, but from watching someone else. This is how it works with wealth, too. For centuries, wise people have done this. Ancient generals didn't just rush into battle. They studied old wars, looking at why empires rose and fell, and what terrible mistakes were made. Philosophers watched human behavior for thousands of years, not to judge, but to understand the patterns that lead to happiness or struggle. They built knowledge on the foundations of other people's experiences, both good and bad. So, for someone aiming for lasting wealth, it's not about being perfect. It's about being very observant. It's about knowing that every failed business, every bad investment, every wrong turn someone else took offers a silent warning. This isn't about being scared of failure. It's about being smart enough to see the lessons in other people's journeys. It helps you walk a path that's already clearer, not from your own hard knocks, but from the shared lessons of human trying. It's a quiet strength, built on paying close attention. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to understand things about money or success that others miss? It's not about secret groups. Often, it's just curiosity. It isn't just asking what, but truly wanting to know why. It's looking past the obvious, digging deeper. When you're curious, you don't just accept things as they are, you question them. You search for hidden patterns, unspoken rules. This urge to know, this quiet push to explore, is powerful. Think about ancient thinkers, like Socrates. He believed a life without questions. without examining things, wasn't fully lived. He showed that real understanding starts with admitting you don't know everything, then being brave enough to ask. Every big discovery, every new idea that changed the world, began with someone curious enough to ask, what if? Or, why does this happen? They didn't just take what they were told, they pushed further. That's how we learned the Earth goes around the sun. Here's an example. Imagine you're playing a video game, and you keep losing at a certain level. Many might just give up, but a curious person won't. They'll ask, why am I losing here? What's different about this level? Is there a hidden trick or strategy? They'll watch how others play, or try different moves. They won't just accept failure, they'll look for the unseen solution. And often, they'll find it. So, curiosity is more than just a quick thought. It's a quiet strength, a way of seeing the world that keeps your mind open. It's the engine that helps us learn, grow, and uncover truths not often shared. When you stay curious about wealth, about life, you start to see beyond the easy answers. You build your own understanding, not just what others want you to believe. This is how you truly know. Have you ever wondered why some people, especially those who become really successful, just keep going no matter what? It's not just about being stubborn. Here's the thing. Wealthy individuals, or anyone deeply driven, often view challenges very differently. For them, a setback isn't a dead end. It's more like a detour, or even a necessary part of the path. They've learned that quitting means losing all the effort they've already put in. This idea isn't new. Ancient Greek thinkers and later philosophers understood that facing struggles makes you stronger. They believed that growth comes from enduring hardship, like a blacksmith strengthening metal in a fire. Think about a small sapling, a young tree trying to grow in really tough rocky soil. Does it just give up because the ground is hard? Its roots push deeper, wrap around stones, and find tiny cracks to spread out. The struggle makes its roots stronger, making the tree more stable against storms. In the same way, for many rich people, every problem they solve, every failure they overcome, builds their mental roots. It makes them more resilient, more ready for the next big challenge. They learn that every no or every difficulty holds a hidden lesson, a new piece of wisdom. So, it's not that they never feel like giving up, it's that they see the process differently. They understand that success isn't a straight line, but a winding path full of ups and downs. And the true reward isn't just the destination, but the strength and wisdom gained from refusing to quit along the way. It's a quiet understanding that effort, even when it feels pointless, is never truly wasted. It always builds something inside you. Have you ever wondered why rich people don't seem to pay as much in taxes as you might think? It's a question many people ask. Here's the thing. Taxes are a way for everyone to chip in for things we all need, like roads, schools, and hospitals. Most of us pay taxes on the money we earn from a job, like a regular salary. But for very rich people, a lot of their money doesn't come from a regular paycheck. It comes from investments, like owning parts of companies or buying and selling property. These are often called assets. Think about it this way. In ancient times, people paid tribute or a portion of their harvest to the king or ruler. That money or food then went to protect the village or build things for everyone. It was about shared responsibility for the common good. Over time, that idea became what we now call taxes. It's meant to make sure everyone contributes to society. Now, rich people often have smart ways to manage their money so that their wealth isn't taxed in the same way as a regular salary. They might invest in things that grow in value but aren't taxed until they sell them, sometimes many years later. Or they use certain legal tricks, like putting money into special accounts or foundations, which helps them pay less. It's kind of like when you have a big group project at school. Everyone is supposed to contribute. But maybe one person is really good at organizing and finds a way to get the work done without having to spend as much time on the parts that are directly graded. So, while taxes are meant to be fair for everyone, the rules about wealth and taxes can get really complicated. It makes you wonder about what fairness truly means when some people have so much more, and whether everyone is really pulling their weight for the common good. It's not about being mad, but about understanding that the system works differently for different kinds of money. And knowing this helps you see the world a bit more clearly. and ask bigger questions about how we all live together. Have you ever wondered how some people always seem to have money coming in, like a steady stream? It's not just about one big job, one single source of income. Here's the thing. Many wealthy people don't rely on just one way to make money. They build what you could call a network of earnings. Think of it like a river fed by many smaller creeks. If one creek dries up, the river still flows because of the others. This idea isn't new. For a long time, people have known it's smart not to put all your eggs in one basket. Ancient farmers, for example, didn't just grow one type of crop. They might also raise animals or sell crafts. If one harvest failed, they still had other things. It's a deep kind of wisdom about strength and survival. It's about not being completely dependent on just one thing. Imagine a musician. Maybe they write songs and sell them online. That's one stream. But they also play concerts, earning money from tickets. That's another. And then maybe they teach guitar lessons on the side. That's a third. Each of these different ways adds up. If one type of music isn't popular, or if concerts get canceled, they still have their other ways to earn money. It's like a strong plant sending its roots in many directions, making sure it can find what it needs no matter what. So, it's not just about greed. It's about building a kind of freedom. When you have multiple ways to earn, you're not easily shaken by changes. It gives you a calm confidence, knowing you have options. It lets you be more creative, less worried about one single path. It's a quiet strength, like a tree with deep, widespread roots, able to stand firm through any storm that comes. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to just keep growing, no matter how old they get? Here's the thing. It's not magic. It's about a deep, quiet hunger to always learn. Successful people share this trait. They don't stop reading when school ends. They don't think they know everything already. Instead, they see the world as a giant classroom, always offering new lessons. This isn't just about facts. It's about understanding how things work, how people think, and how the world changes. Ancient thinkers, like Socrates, believed true wisdom wasn't about knowing everything, but knowing how much you don't know. He famously said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." This idea means staying open and curious. It's about asking why, or how can I do that better? Learning isn't a race with a finish line. It's a journey that never really ends, and that's why it matters. Imagine a video game you love. At first, you learn the controls, figure out the levels, but even after you beat it, if you love the game, you try new strategies. You look for hidden paths. You might watch someone else play to learn their tricks. You're always exploring, trying to improve your skill, even after the main goal is done. That's what lifelong learning feels like. It's not about being forced. It's about wanting to understand more deeply. So, here's what I found. Wealth isn't just money. It's also about having a mind rich with ideas, experiences, and understanding. When you keep learning, you adapt better. You see opportunities others miss. You solve problems in new ways. It's like building a strong, flexible muscle for your brain. This muscle helps you navigate life's challenges. It brings a calm power, knowing you can always discover something new, always grow. That feeling of constant growth, it's a treasure all its own. What if I told you the richest people guard something even more important than their money? It's not a secret vault or a hidden treasure map. Here's the thing. It's their health. Think about it. You can have all the gold in the world, all the fancy cars, or the biggest houses. But what if you're too sick to enjoy any of it? What if you're always tired or always in pain? That money suddenly doesn't mean as much. Health isn't just about feeling good. It's about having the energy and the ability to do things. It's about being able to work, to create, to connect with people, and yes, to manage and grow your wealth. Without good health, even the smartest business ideas can't take off. For a long, long time, wise thinkers understood this. The ancient Greeks, for example, believed that a strong mind needed a strong body. They taught that taking care of your physical self was just as important as taking care of your thoughts. It's like building a tall tower. You need a super strong foundation first. Your health is that foundation for everything else you want to build in life. Imagine you're playing your favorite video game. You've earned all the best power-ups and weapons. You have every cool item in your inventory. But what if your character's health bar is completely empty? All those amazing items don't help much if your character can't move or fight. Your personal energy, your wellness, is your real-life health bar. It lets you use all your talents and opportunities. And that's why health is so precious. It's not just about living a long time. It's about living fully, with purpose and strength. It's the quiet truth that allows everything else to flourish. It lets you chase your dreams, deal with problems, and really experience the world around you. So, in a way, taking care of your body isn't just self-care. It's the most powerful investment you can make in your future, no matter how much money you have or don't have. It's the true secret engine behind all lasting success. Have you ever thought about what you want to do next week? Or maybe what you'll do when you finish middle school? That's how most of us think about time. But here's what I found. Very wealthy people often think in terms of decades, even centuries. They aren't just looking at tomorrow. They are looking way, way beyond. This means they make choices today that might not show big results for a long, long time. They understand that true wealth isn't a quick sprint. It's a marathon that might span lifetimes. Think about something ancient, like the Great Wall of China. It wasn't built in a day or even a year. It took hundreds of years, with different generations adding to it, one brick at a time. The people who started it knew they wouldn't see it finished, but they believed in its future. That's long-term thinking. Here's an idea that might work for you. Imagine planting an acorn. It's a tiny, hard thing, and you don't see a giant oak tree right away. For years, maybe even a decade, it's just a small sapling. But with patience and care, that little acorn grows into something strong and lasting, providing shade and life for generations to come. The effort put in today yields massive returns much later. It's like a scientist setting up an experiment that will run for 20 years, knowing the real discoveries come at the very end. This way of thinking teaches us about patience and about building something truly foundational. It's not about instant wins or quick fixes. It's about a quiet, steady effort, day after day, year after year. It reminds us that some of the most valuable things in life are grown slowly, with vision and a deep understanding that the future is built by the small, thoughtful actions we take right now. And that's why it matters to think big, not just about next week, but about the many years ahead. Have you ever thought about how some people seem to just have money and keep it and grow it? It's not usually about magic or luck. Here's the thing. A big part of it comes down to something quiet, but very powerful. It's called discipline. Being disciplined with money isn't about being mean to yourself or never having fun. It's really about making smart choices, over and over, especially when those choices feel a little hard in the moment. It's about deciding what you truly want in the future, then acting in a way today that helps you get there. Imagine you want to buy something big, like a new gaming console. You could spend your allowance on snacks every day, or you could put a little bit aside each week. The second choice, that's discipline. Think back to what ancient Greek thinkers believed. They had a word, enkrateia, meaning self-mastery. They taught that real freedom wasn't doing whatever you wanted, but choosing what was right, even if it was hard. It's about building inner strength, so you aren't just pulled by every passing desire. It's like learning a musical instrument. You don't just play a perfect song instantly. You practice simple things over and over. It's repetitive, sometimes boring, but each small practice builds skill. Every time you save or think before buying, it's like a practice for your money habits. Slowly, those small, repeated actions become easier. They become almost automatic. So, discipline isn't a punishment. It's a quiet freedom. It lets you choose your future, building something strong, like a tree from a seed. It's a powerful, inner strength. Have you ever heard someone talk about getting rich fast? Like finding a secret shortcut to tons of money without much effort? This idea, the get-rich-quick plan, sounds really nice. But here's the thing. It's mostly a story, a comforting dream that isn't real. For a long time, people have wanted to believe in instant wealth. Think about old tales of finding treasure chests or magic lamps. We've always hoped for an easy way out of hard work. But true wealth, the kind that lasts and actually makes a difference, doesn't just appear overnight. It's not like planting a tiny seed in the morning and having a giant oak tree by lunchtime. That's not how nature works. And it's not how wealth works either. Real growth takes time. It needs attention, steady effort, and sometimes a lot of patience. Imagine someone trying to become a great basketball player. They don't just pick up a ball and suddenly play like a professional. Instead, they practice every day. They learn the rules, they train their bodies, they make mistakes, and they keep trying. They spend hours and hours improving their shots, running drills, and working with a team. It's a slow, steady buildup of skill and strength. Wealth is a lot like that. It grows from small, consistent actions over a long time. It's about learning, saving, making smart choices, and being patient when things are slow. So, when someone talks about a get-rich-quick plan, remember the basketball player. Real success and real wealth usually comes from showing up every day and doing the work, little by little. It's about building something strong and real, not just wishing for it to magically appear. It asks us to be thoughtful, not just hopeful. Have you ever thought about why some people, especially those who create a lot of wealth, seem drawn to tackling big challenges? It's not just about the money they might earn. It's something much deeper than that. For them, a problem isn't something to avoid. It's like a puzzle waiting to be solved, a mountain to climb. Here's the thing. Problems are actually chances to create something new, to fix what's broken, or to make things better than they were before. They see problems not as big, scary roadblocks, but as interesting chances to learn and grow. Each challenge is an invitation, a puzzle to work through. Think about human history for a moment. Every big step forward we've made, from discovering fire to building amazing cities, started because someone saw a problem and worked hard to solve it. It's like this drive is wired into us, this need to figure things out and make sense of the world. Great thinkers throughout time have talked about how pushing through tough times helps us grow stronger. It's through wrestling with difficulties that we truly learn what we're capable of and what new things are possible. You know that feeling when you're stuck on a really hard math problem, and then suddenly, the answer clicks into place? Or when you're trying to beat a tough level in a video game, and after many tries, you finally win? That rush, that feeling of, aha, that's your brain giving you a little burst of good feeling. A tiny celebration. It tells you, good job, you did it. For people who achieve great things, this feeling is a powerful fuel. They chase that feeling of mastery, not just the final outcome. It teaches them a lot about resilience and patience. It builds their mind like lifting weights builds muscles. This isn't just about making money. It's about finding purpose in the effort, finding satisfaction in making things work. It's about the quiet understanding that difficulty is part of the path, not just something to avoid. It's a journey of discovery, finding meaning in making sense of chaos. And that's why it matters. Have you ever stopped to think about what happens when you don't do something? What if choosing to do nothing actually costs you more than taking action? This is a deep truth many rich people understand. They see that standing still isn't neutral. It has consequences, just like moving forward does. Here's the thing. Not making a choice is still a choice. It's a quiet decision to let things stay as they are, or even get worse. Think about ancient Roman thinkers. They wrote about how time keeps moving, whether you use it or not. They meant that opportunities pass by. Skills can fade, problems can grow, all while you are doing nothing. Life itself keeps going, and if you don't move with it, you can fall behind. Imagine a small plant you want to grow. If you don't water it, it doesn't just stay small. It slowly wilts. Its leaves turn brown, and then it dies. The cost of doing nothing, not watering, was losing the plant. Or think about a skill, like playing an instrument. If you don't practice, you don't just stay the same. Your fingers forget the notes. Your timing gets sloppy. The skill gets lost. This applies to money too. If you don't learn about saving, your money just sits there, slowly losing value to things like inflation. It's a powerful idea to grasp. Life isn't a paused video game. The world keeps moving, with or without your choices. So, the quiet understanding here is that true power often comes from seeing when inaction is the real risk. It's knowing that sometimes the hardest thing to do is nothing at all. The price of that stillness can be incredibly high. This means seeing that action, even small action, is often the wisest path forward. Have you ever wondered why people who seem to have a lot of money often talk about staying out of debt? It might seem strange. You'd think they could handle it, right? But here's the thing. For them, avoiding debt isn't just about money. It's about something much deeper. Debt is not just a bill you have to pay. It's a promise you make with your future self. When you owe someone money, you are, in a way, giving away a piece of your future time and energy. That future time becomes owned by the debt. It means you have less freedom to make choices later on, because part of your effort is already spoken for. Think back to ancient times. For many cultures, being debt-free was the true mark of a free person. If you owed a lot, you could lose your land, your belongings, or even your personal freedom. People understood that debt wasn't just a number, it was a chain. It limited your options, forcing you to work to pay off what was due instead of building something new or chasing a dream. This old idea still holds true today, even if the chains are invisible. Here's an example that might make sense. Imagine you're building with Legos. If you borrow a bunch of specific bricks from a friend, you can use them for now. But you know you have to give them back, maybe even more bricks than you borrowed. So, every time you build something cool, a part of your mind is thinking, I need to make sure I have enough bricks left to pay back my friend. This takes away some of the fun and freedom of building. It limits what you can create, because a portion of your brick-sure future potential is already committed. So, for people who understand wealth deeply, avoiding debt is like protecting their most valuable asset, their freedom. It's about keeping their future choices open, their minds clear, and their time truly their own. It's a quiet act of preserving personal power and peace. Have you ever really thought about how a simple idea, just a flicker in someone's mind, can become something worth a lot of money? It's not about magic or finding a secret treasure map. Here's how it works. It starts with seeing a need or a problem. Maybe people are bored, or they need an easier way to do something, or they just want something different. The rich person's mind sees that gap. Then, their idea becomes a proposed solution. But an idea alone isn't worth anything. It's just a thought, a whisper in the mind. Think about it this way. For thousands of years, humans have done this. Someone in ancient times needed a way to carry water. Their idea was a pot. Someone else needed to write down stories. Their idea became paper. These weren't just thoughts. They were thoughts that led to actions, leading to things people valued and used. It's the human mind, observing the world and creating. So, here's the thing. Rich people, or anyone who creates wealth, don't just have good ideas. They learn how to take that idea and build it, shape it, and make it useful for others. It's like a chef with a great recipe idea for a new dessert. The recipe in their head isn't dessert. They have to gather the sugar, the flour, the eggs. They mix them carefully. They bake it. Only then does the idea become a real delicious dessert that people will pay for. The process of making it real is what matters. And that's why it matters. The truly wealthy often understand this deep truth. Their minds are constantly looking for ways to take an idea, develop it, and present it to the world in a way that helps people. It's about turning invisible thoughts into visible value. It means that anyone with a good idea and the willingness to act on it holds a powerful tool. It's not about luck. It's about understanding this process, about making your thoughts real. And that's a powerful idea to carry with you. Have you ever wondered what truly helps someone get better at things? It's not always just practice or talent. Often, it's honest feedback. Think of it like a quiet mirror, showing you parts you can't see yourself. The edges, the back, maybe a small smudge. People who grow in skill or wealth often seek out voices telling them the hard truths. Not just good job, but what you could do differently. Even ancient thinkers talked about knowing yourself. But how do you know yourself without help? Let others show you what you might miss. A true friend who tells you difficult but helpful truths is a treasure. Consider a simple example. Imagine baking a new cake. You follow the recipe, but it turns out a little dry. If someone tastes it and says, "It's good, but maybe more moisture next time," that's honest feedback. You might feel a bit disappointed, but it gives you what you need to make the next cake perfect. Without that voice, you might keep baking dry cakes, never knowing why. In science, experiments give feedback. When one doesn't work, it tells us we need to change something. Learn more. It's not a failure. It's a guide. And that's why honest feedback matters so deeply. Those building lasting wealth often seek out honest voices, valuing uncomfortable truths. These truths help fix problems and see clearly. Real growth isn't about being perfect. It's about being brave enough to listen. It's accepting these insights as gifts, helping you build not just a fortune, but a richer, stronger self. Have you ever thought about how others see you? Not just your friends, but everyone around you, even strangers. For people who have built a lot of wealth, this "how others see you" isn't just a casual thought. It's a huge deal. They guard their reputation like a treasure. Here's why. Their business, their deals, even their friendships often depend on trust. If people don't trust you, if your name is linked to tricky or unfair things, it's hard to get good opportunities. This idea isn't new. It goes way back. Think about ancient marketplaces, where people traded goods. If a merchant cheated someone once, their name would spread. Soon, no one would buy from them. Their business would fail. So, having a good name, being known as honest and fair, was like having a secret superpower. It still is. It means people are willing to work with you, invest in your ideas, and believe what you say. Imagine you have a group project at school. One person in your group always says they'll do their part, but then they don't. Or their work is sloppy. After a while, you and your classmates will start to avoid working with them, right? You'd rather do extra work yourself than rely on them. That's a reputation at work. It's built by what you do, not just what you say. It's about being reliable and showing up, even when it's hard. Rich people understand that same idea on a much bigger scale. Their group projects can involve millions of dollars or huge companies. So, here's what I found. It's not just about money. It's about building a solid foundation in life. Your reputation is like an invisible bank account of trust. Every time you do something good, something honest, something kind, you add to it. And every time you act unfairly or break a promise, you take from it. This can help you, no matter what you want to do. It's about how you carry yourself in the world, and the silent promise you make just by being you. Have you ever wondered why some people stay calm, even when everyone else is buzzing about the newest, coolest thing? Trends pop up all the time. In clothes, music, games, how we talk. It can feel like you have to jump on everyone, or you'll be left out. But here's the thing about truly wealthy people. They often don't chase every trend. Think about it. A trend is popular for a short time. It's exciting, loud, and everyone talks about it. But it often fades as quickly as it appears. Those building lasting wealth know real value isn't found in what's fleeting. They look for what lasts, what endures. This isn't a new idea. Wise thinkers, for ages, have talked about focusing on what's real and constant, not just what's fashionable. It's like a sturdy tree growing deep roots, unlike a quickly blooming flower that withers. Imagine learning an instrument, like the guitar. A trend might be a super popular song right now. Everyone wants to learn it. But a true musician knows that to really play, you need to learn the basics. Chords, scales, rhythm. These aren't trends, they're the foundations. They've been around for ages and will be useful no matter what songs are popular next year. Chasing only the hit song means you never master the instrument. Wealthy people, in the same way, focus on the basics of value, things that always matter, like useful skills or deep knowledge. They invest in what has real worth, not just hype. It takes quiet strength to ignore the noise. It means trusting your judgment, knowing what you value even when the world screams. It's about having the patience to build something strong, not always reaching for the shiny new thing that might break tomorrow. True growth often happens quietly, steadily, away from passing fads. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have help always appear when they need it? It's not magic, and it's not just luck. Often, it's about something deep and quiet, the hidden strength of networking. But here's the thing. Networking isn't just trying to get something from someone. It's far more profound. It's about building real, honest connections with others. It's about trust. It's about truly seeing people and offering help without expecting anything back right away. For a long time, humans have understood this deep truth. Think about our ancestors in ancient tribes. No one could survive alone. They depended on the hunter for food, the healer for medicine, the storyteller for wisdom. Their very survival, their wealth, was in how well they connected and supported each other. This isn't just an old idea. It's still how the world works for lasting success and true wealth. To really get this, think about a vast forest. You see individual trees standing tall. But what you don't always see is the amazing, hidden world beneath the ground. The roots of these trees intertwine, forming a massive, secret network. They share water and pass nutrients, even sending help to struggling trees. This system of giving and receiving helps the whole forest thrive. That's how human connections work. When you offer kindness or share a skill, you're creating one of those hidden pathways. So, here's what I found. Real wealth isn't just the money you collect. It's the rich, living network of people you genuinely connect with. It's knowing you have people you can lean on, and people who can lean on you. It's a quiet, powerful understanding that we are all part of something bigger. It's building a life where everyone helps each other grow, like those unseen roots, making your whole life stronger and more resilient. Have you ever wondered how some people get richer without doing more work each day? It's a deep question, one that challenges what we usually learn about money. Most of us trade our time for money, an hour for an hour. But rich people often grasp a different idea. They make their money work for them. Here's the thing. They invest in assets. Think of an asset as something that puts money into your pocket, even when you're not actively working. This isn't a new idea. For thousands of years, people who owned land understood this. They planted crops, and while they slept, the sun shone, the rain fell, and the plants grew. The land, their asset, was doing the work. The harvest came, year after year. Here's what I found. It's like planting a special type of seed. You spend time and energy planting it, maybe building a fence around it, and watering it for a while. That's the initial effort. But once that seed grows into a strong fruit tree, it keeps giving fruit every single season, year after year. You don't need to stand there all day, every day doing something. The tree itself, the asset you created, produces. The fruit just appears. That fruit can be sold, and the money comes in even when you're at school or spending time with friends. So, it's not about working harder, but about working smarter once to set up something that keeps working for you. This frees up their time. It gives them choices. They can spend their waking hours on new ideas or learning, or just being with their families. This deep truth changes how you see effort. It suggests that true wealth isn't just about how much you earn, but how much your money can earn for you. Quietly, in the background, even when the world is dark and you are resting. Have you ever worked really hard on something, poured all your time and effort into it, only to realize it just wasn't going to work out? Maybe it was a drawing that kept looking wrong, or a video game level you couldn't beat after hours of trying. Here's a quiet truth. Very wealthy people, the ones who seem to build great things, truly understand when to simply stop. They know when to walk away. This isn't about giving up. It's about wisdom. For centuries, smart thinkers, from ancient Greek philosophers to Eastern strategists, understood this idea. They knew that sometimes the wisest move isn't to push harder, but to gracefully retreat. It's like a general in an old war who knows when to pull his army back, not because he's a coward, but because staying would lead to a much bigger loss. He saves his soldiers and resources for a battle he can win. This choice shows strength, not weakness. Think about a scientist working on a tough problem. She might spend months or years on an experiment, but if the data keeps showing it's a dead end, she doesn't keep banging her head against the wall. She stops, learns from what didn't work, and shifts her focus. She doesn't see it as a failure, but as information. This can help her. It saves her precious time and energy. It frees her to explore new paths. So, knowing when to walk away means respecting your own time, your energy, and your spirit. It's about not letting stubbornness tie you down to things that no longer serve you or that are simply not meant to be. It's a deep kind of strength, a quiet power in letting go, making space for what truly matters, and choosing a better direction. It allows for growth. Do you ever wonder how the really wealthy spend their days? We often picture fancy trips or endless shopping, right? But here's the thing. For many, the truth about their time is simpler and much deeper. It's not about filling hours with luxuries, but how they think about and use each moment. They see time not as something to simply pass, but as their most valuable tool, a quiet force they shape for building, not just for fun. They often spend less time reacting and more time creating or planning. They might spend hours reading, thinking, or learning new things. They might talk to people who challenge their ideas. This isn't always exciting. Sometimes it's just quiet work, deep thought. This idea isn't new. Long ago, thinkers like Seneca, an ancient Roman philosopher, said that people often waste time without realizing it, as if it were endless. He believed time was our most precious treasure, more valuable than any money. He argued we shouldn't just let time slip away, but choose carefully what we spend it on. Here's an idea to think about. Imagine you have a small garden plot. You can spend your time there just waiting, or you can spend it preparing the soil, planting seeds, and watering regularly. The rich often spend their time planting seeds. They're not just waiting for good things. They're actively putting in effort, learning, and planning for what they want to grow later. They understand that a little bit of effort, done consistently over time, can build something huge. So, the real secret isn't about having endless hours of leisure. It's about respecting every moment. It's about understanding that each day, each minute, is a chance to build something, to learn something new, or to simply think deeply about what matters. That kind of mindful living, that way of truly using your time, is a kind of wealth available to everyone, no matter how much money they have. And that's a truth richer than any diamond. Have you ever noticed how much energy some arguments take? It's like a black hole for your thoughts. Rich people, or really, any successful person, often understand this deep down. They know that drama, the kind that flares up from small things, can steal your focus. And focus, that's like gold to them. They have goals, big ideas they want to make real. So, here's the thing. They see drama as a distraction, a heavy fog that keeps them from seeing their path clearly. They'd rather spend their time and brain power solving problems, building new things, or learning, instead of getting caught up in arguments that don't lead anywhere good. Think about ancient philosophers, like the Stoics. They talked a lot about finding inner peace. They believed you should only worry about things you can control. Other people's drama? You can't control that. So why let it upset you? It's like this old idea that peace of mind is one of the most valuable things you can have. It allows you to think straight, to make smart choices. They saw too much emotional fuss as a weakness, something that could throw you off your game. Imagine you're building an amazing fort in your backyard, a truly epic one. You need to gather wood, plan the design, and put in a lot of effort. Now, imagine your friends start arguing about who gets to use the best hammer, or they get upset over a small piece of wood. If you stop everything to join that argument, your fort building stops. You lose time. You get stressed. The drama takes away from your main project. Rich people often treat their goals like that fort. They don't want anything to stop them from building it. They protect their mental space, their quiet time, because that's where big ideas grow. So, it's not just about money. It's about understanding where your energy is best spent. It's about choosing peace over pointless conflict. It's about seeing that a calm mind is a powerful tool. And that's why it matters. They understand that a clear head lets you build not just wealth, but a life that feels more steady and purposeful. Have you ever thought about true security? Not just having a lot of money, but truly feeling safe. We often think one job is how people get rich, climbing a ladder. But here's what truly wealthy people understand. Relying on just one source of money can be very risky. For most of us, Our job is our only paycheck. If that job disappears, or we can't work, everything can feel wobbly. The truth is, those who build lasting wealth don't depend on just one income. They have different ways money comes to them. This could be a job, yes, but also investments, a small business, or even selling creative work online. Each is like a different stream flowing into their financial river. This idea isn't new. Think about old farmers. They knew not to plant just one kind of crop. If that one crop failed due to bad weather or disease, they'd lose everything. So, they planted many kinds: wheat, beans, fruit trees. If the wheat failed, the others might still do well. This wasn't just about making more money. It was about survival. It was about making sure they could keep going. It's like building a strong table with many legs. A table with only one leg would tip over easily. But a table with many legs, even if one gets wobbly, still stands firm. That's what different income streams give you. It's not just about having more money. It's about a quieter kind of confidence. It's about knowing you have a strong base, less fear, and more freedom. This deep peace, built over time, is a true treasure. Have you ever wondered why some very rich people seem unhappy, even with everything they have? Or why others, even with great success, stay so kind and grounded? It often comes down to something called humility. Humility isn't about thinking less of yourself. It's about thinking of yourself less often. It means truly knowing that you're just one part of a bigger world, and that your achievements, big or small, don't make you better than anyone else. Think about ancient thinkers, like the Roman philosopher Seneca. He wrote about how true wealth isn't about what you own, but who you are inside. He believed that if you let success go to your head, you'd always be chasing more, never truly satisfied. But if you stayed humble, you'd find a deep peace, no matter your fortune. It's a very old idea that too much pride can blind you to what really matters. Imagine a tall tree. When it's young, it stands straight and reaches high. But as it grows and produces a lot of fruit, its branches naturally bend downwards, weighed down by the very abundance it created. That's a bit like humility. The more fruit-like success, money, or fame someone has, the more they might naturally bend with a kind of gentle humility. They understand their good fortune comes from many things. Their hard work, yes, but also luck, help from others, and just being in the right place at the right time. So, the real secret of staying humble isn't a trick. It's understanding that the world is huge and amazing, and we are all just small parts of it. When you truly realize that, you don't feel the need to show off or act superior. You just appreciate what you have, share what you can, and treat everyone with respect. Because we're all on this journey together. And that brings a quiet strength. A sense of peace that no amount of money alone can buy. Have you ever wondered how some people just seem to find great opportunities everywhere they look? It's not about luck, or having a secret map others don't. Here's the thing. Rich people, or really anyone who finds opportunities, often just see the world differently. They don't just look at what's there, they see what could be. They listen to the quiet signals, the little problems, the things that are missing. Think about it this way. For a long time, across history, smart people weren't always the ones with the most books. They were the ones who noticed small details others ignored. Like the story of Isaac Newton and the apple. Whether it fell or not, the point is, he didn't just eat it. He wondered why it fell. He saw a bigger question in a simple event. That's a deep observation. Here's a good example you might get. Imagine you walk past an empty, overgrown lot in your neighborhood every day. Most people just see tall weeds and maybe some trash. They see something messy and uninteresting. But someone with an eye for opportunity sees more. They might imagine a bright community garden, or a small pop-up bookstore, or maybe a quiet, calm place for people to sit and talk. They don't just see the dirt. They see the potential for a place of beauty and connection. This way of seeing isn't a magical power. It's a quiet skill, a kind of deep alertness. It means paying careful attention to the world around you, not just skimming the surface. It means seeing problems not as dead ends, but as chances for new solutions. So, great opportunities aren't hidden away in secret vaults. They are often right in front of us, waiting for someone to truly see them. It's about how you choose to look. And that deep way of looking is something we all can practice every single day. Have you ever wondered why some people, especially those who seem to have a lot of success, appear so calm? Even when things get tough, they often keep a steady gaze. Here's the thing. Many rich people deeply understand how important peace of mind is. It's not just about feeling good. It's a superpower for making smart choices. Think about it like this. Wealthy people often deal with big decisions and a lot of pressure. If their minds are full of worry, fear, or a million scattered thoughts, they can't think clearly. They know that a peaceful mind is like a clear window. It lets you see opportunities and problems for what they really are, without distortion. It helps you stay focused, even when everyone else is panicking. Long ago, thinkers like the Stoics in ancient Greece talked about finding calm inside yourself. They believed that true power wasn't controlling what happened to you, but controlling how you reacted to it. They focused on their inner world. This idea has echoed through history. Many wise people have known that an undisturbed mind is a strong mind. Imagine you're playing a video game that requires a lot of quick thinking. If your little brother is yelling in your ear and your phone is buzzing with notifications, it's really hard to win, right? But if you're in a quiet room, totally focused, you play much better. Your mind is like that game. When it's calm, you make better moves. It helps you avoid impulsive choices that cost you money or miss opportunities because you're too stressed to see them. So, this inner quiet isn't just a nice feeling. It's a vital tool. It helps you navigate challenges, make good decisions, and ultimately, build the kind of life you want. No matter what your bank account looks like, finding that sense of inner peace can truly make you richer. It's a quiet strength that helps you handle whatever comes next with clarity and a calm heart. Have you ever wondered why some people just don't seem to care what anyone else thinks? It's like they have this calm, quiet power, walking through life unfazed by judgment. For many of us, especially as we grow up, caring about what others think can feel like a heavy weight. We want to fit in, to be liked, and that's totally normal. But here's the thing about people who build great wealth, or really, anyone who achieves deep success. At some point, their focus shifts. They stop looking outward for approval and start looking inward for truth. Wise thinkers from long ago taught that true peace comes from within. It's not about how others see you, but how you see yourself and what you know is right. External opinions are like clouds passing in the sky. They can block the sun for a bit, but they don't change the sun itself. Imagine a scientist working on a complex problem, trying to invent something new. Early on, people might laugh at their ideas or say it's impossible. But the scientist isn't listening to that noise. They are so focused on the experiment, on the data, on the truth they're trying to discover. Their value isn't based on someone else's opinion. It's based on their own dedication and results. They know what they are doing, even if others don't get it yet. This idea is like knowing your favorite color. If you love blue, and someone tells you blue is ugly, it doesn't suddenly make you dislike blue, does it? You know what you like. People who truly thrive reach a point where they understand their own worth, their direction, and their goals. When you are deeply connected to your purpose, the whispers of doubt from others just become background noise. It's not about being arrogant. It's about being profoundly secure in who you are and what you believe. It's a quiet strength, a freedom found when your inner voice becomes louder than any outside voice. Have you ever wondered what someone gives up to get truly rich? We often see only their big houses and fancy cars. But what about what they lost? Here's the thing. Great wealth often comes with a hidden cost. It's a price most people never see. Think about it this way. Every big choice means giving up something else. When a student studies hard for a test, they give up playing games or relaxing. They trade fun now for a good grade later. This idea isn't new. Wise people from long ago knew this. Kings gained power, but often lost their peace. Inventors spent years in their workshops, failing, giving up family time for one distant idea. For many who become wealthy, these sacrifices are huge. They might give up years of sleep, working while others rest. They might miss important family events, birthdays or holidays. Sometimes they even give up their health, pushing their bodies and minds too far. They might lose their privacy. Their quiet moments become public. Their relationships can suffer because their work takes so much focus. Imagine a tiny seed growing into a huge tree. To make its roots deep and branches strong, it must focus all its energy. It might even shed leaves to grow better. So, when you see someone at the top, remember the path they walked. It was often built not just with good ideas, but with things they willingly let go of. Success is rarely just given. It's usually earned by giving up what was easy or comfortable. It makes you wonder, what might you be willing to give up for something truly important to you? Have you ever wondered why some things become strong and last a long time? Sometimes, it's because someone made a really tough choice right at the start. This is a quiet truth about wealth. Many people who build lasting success don't avoid the hard stuff. They face it directly, and they do it early, when it's perhaps even more difficult. Here's the thing. Imagine you're building a very tall skyscraper. You can't just stack bricks on the ground. You have to dig down deep to lay a strong foundation. That digging is hard work. It's messy, and it takes time before anything even shows above the dirt. But if you skip that tough, early part, that huge building might not stand firm. It could crumble. This idea isn't new. People from long ago understood this principle. They knew that making a sacrifice or choosing a harder path now could lead to much better things later. It's like planting a tree. You dig the hole and water it, even when it's just a tiny plant. That early effort makes all the difference for the giant tree it might become. Maybe it's saying no to a fun video game night to study for an important test, or saving some of your allowance instead of buying a new gadget. These choices might not feel good right then. You might feel like you're missing out. But here's what's really going on. These early, tough choices are like seeds. You plant them carefully. They might be small, and the sacrifice might feel big. Yet, over time, with patience, those seeds grow. They become strength. It's about seeing past just today. It's about understanding that small, difficult actions now can build a strong, steady future. It's building a path, step by step, starting with the very first, often hardest, steps. So, when we think about building wealth, it's not just about luck. Often, it's about quiet courage, the courage to make that tough decision today, knowing it will clear the path for a stronger, more stable tomorrow. It's a deep, calm strength built from those early choices. It helps someone stand tall and move forward, and that's why this matters so much. Have you ever wondered how people with a lot of money handle losing it? Here's the thing. They do lose money. Sometimes, a lot of it. It's a quiet truth often missed. We see their success, not their stumbles. But wealthy individuals, they learn a deep lesson about falling. They understand that losing isn't the end, but a necessary turn in the road. Think about ancient wisdom, like from old philosophers. They believed we can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we react. Losing money is like a strong gust of wind. You can't stop the wind, but you can learn to adjust your sails. For these individuals, a loss isn't a sign to quit. It's information. It's a signal to study, to understand what went wrong. They don't just feel bad. They ask, what did this teach me? Imagine a scientist working in a lab. They might try hundreds of experiments, and most of them will fail. Tubes might break. Chemicals might not mix. Results aren't what they hoped for. But the scientist doesn't give up. Instead, they look closely at each failure. They learn what doesn't work. Each failure gets them closer to the answer. It refines their process. They see failures as steps, not roadblocks. So, when wealthy people face a big loss, they treat it like that scientist treats a failed experiment. They don't stay stuck in the pain. They pause. They analyze, and then they adjust. They see the loss not as a personal failure, but as a hard teacher. And this quiet, deep understanding, this ability to learn from tough moments, is a powerful truth about building lasting wealth. It's a lesson for all of us about how to face life's bumps, big or small. Have you ever stopped to really think about what happens when you sleep? It's more than just lying still. Here's the thing. While you're resting, your brain works hard, cleaning up, sorting memories, getting ready for the next day. It's a secret superpower for your mind. Many people, even grown-ups, often see sleep as something to cut short. They think working longer or playing more is better. But smart people understand this hidden truth. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's a foundation. It's not just about feeling less tired, it's about sharp thinking, good decisions, and creativity. Even thinkers from long ago understood this. Ancient philosophers talked about the importance of a clear mind. You can't have a clear mind if you're always tired. They knew wisdom comes from quiet moments, letting thoughts settle. Sleep is that quiet moment, where your brain pieces things together. Think of your brain like a giant library. All day, new books arrive, placed on desks or in piles. When you sleep, the librarians come out. They put books back on shelves, organize everything. They connect ideas that seemed separate before. So, waking up, you find information easier. New ideas pop up. This can help with tough school projects or problems. A well-rested mind sees solutions. So, here's what it means for true wealth. Beyond just money. It's about how clearly you think and how well you manage yourself. Getting enough good sleep is investing in your mind, your well-being, and your ability to make smart choices. It's a quiet gift you give yourself every night, building a stronger, clearer you, day by day. What do you imagine a truly wealthy person's house looks like? Maybe you picture rooms bursting with new gadgets, luxury cars, and piles of designer clothes. But often, it's the opposite. Many genuinely rich people own less physical stuff than you'd expect. Why is that? It's about where they place their value. For them, wealth isn't about a mountain of possessions. It's about freedom, time, and growing what they already have. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't get a huge plant overnight. You care for it, and over time, it blossoms into something bigger. Wealthy people often plant seeds by investing in things that grow in value. Businesses, their own learning, or experiences that build powerful connections. They avoid buying things that just sit there or lose value quickly, like a new video game console every year. This way of thinking isn't new. Ancient philosophers, like the Stoics, talked about focusing on what truly matters: wisdom, strong character, a peaceful mind. They believed too many material things could trap you, making you worry more. It's like trying to run while carrying a heavy backpack. The more items you add, the harder it is to move freely. They learned that real power isn't what you own, but what you can achieve and who you become. Imagine your mind as a super powerful computer. You could fill it with many temporary apps that just take up space and slow it down. Or, you could install a few truly powerful programs that help you create, learn, and grow. Rich people often install the powerful programs, focusing on skills, knowledge, and relationships. They buy fewer apps that only offer a brief thrill. So, this isn't about being cheap. It's about a different kind of wisdom. It's a quiet understanding that lasting satisfaction comes not from collecting more items, but from having more freedom, more time, and more chances to build something truly meaningful in the world. It's a way of living that values growth and contribution above mere gathering. Have you ever stopped to think about things that just stick around? Not for a week or a year, but for generations. This is a quiet secret of true wealth, often unspoken. It's not just about making quick money. It's about building things with roots that go deep, things designed to endure. Think about it like this. Anyone can make a quick dollar buying and selling something fast. But the really wealthy, the ones who create lasting impact, they don't just trade. They build. They invest their time and wisdom in ideas, systems, and even relationships that aren't meant to vanish. It's a way of thinking that looks far into the future, past their own lifetimes. Hundreds of years ago, people built cathedrals or universities, knowing full well they might never see them finished. They were planting seeds for trees whose shade they would never sit under. That takes a kind of patience, a kind of vision, that goes beyond simple profit. It's about creating value that keeps giving, long after the first effort is made. Here's an example you might know. Imagine learning to play a musical instrument, like a guitar or piano. You don't just pick it up and instantly play like a master. You practice every day, sometimes for years. It's slow. It's steady. You're building a skill, note by note, chord by chord. That skill, once built, stays with you. It doesn't disappear. You can use it to create music, teach others, or just find joy. It's a form of lasting value. So, when we talk about wealth, it's not always about big piles of cash right now. Sometimes, it's about the quiet strength of things that were built carefully, with a deep understanding of time and patience. It's about leaving something good behind, something that continues to serve, to teach, or to inspire, long after the builder has moved on. It's a profound way to contribute, making a mark that doesn't fade with the changing seasons. Have you ever wondered how people manage, or even get ahead, when they don't have everything others do? Maybe they lack money or the best tools. So, what do? Here's the truth about wealth that isn't often spoken. It's not just about money. A big part of it is being resourceful. This means finding clever ways to use what you do, have, or what's nearby to solve problems. It's about using your mind and energy, instead of just wishing for more. Think about early humans. They didn't have stores. If they needed shelter, they used branches, mud, leaves. For tools, they shaped rocks. They didn't have much, but they used what was right there. This idea of creating from what's available is ancient. A Roman thinker like Seneca knew this too. He believed true strength isn't about having a lot, but handling not having much. It's about adapting. Here's how it works in daily life. Imagine you have a school project. You don't have fancy art supplies, but maybe you have old cereal boxes, some string and markers. A resourceful person wouldn't just give up. They'd look at those everyday items and think, how can I make this work? They'd cut, glue, draw, and make something unique. They use their imagination, not their wallet. And that's why it matters. Being resourceful teaches you that your best tool isn't something you buy. It's your own mind. It shows you problems aren't dead ends, but chances to be clever. It builds a quiet confidence, knowing you can figure things out, even when resources are few. This ability to create and adapt is a kind of wealth no one can take. It's about realizing real value comes from what you make, not just what you own. Have you ever wondered why some people just seem to keep getting better at things? Why they always know the next big idea or figure out tricky problems? Here's the thing about people who build lasting wealth. They never really stop being students. They treat learning as a constant journey, not something you finish after school. They know the world changes fast. To stay ahead, you must keep adding new skills and knowledge. It's not about being the smartest from day one. It's about always being willing to learn something new. Think about great thinkers throughout history. Leonardo da Vinci wasn't just a painter. He studied engineering, anatomy, and more. He was endlessly curious. Or the ancient Greek philosophers like Socrates. They believed true wisdom came from always asking questions, seeking understanding, and admitting what you don't know. They saw intelligence as a path walked every day. This idea that knowledge is a continuous pursuit has been around for ages. It's a lot like how a professional athlete trains. They don't just learn one set of moves. They constantly practice, watch old games, learn new strategies. Even after winning, they go back to get stronger and smarter. Their muscle for their sport grows because they keep challenging it. Your brain is like that muscle. The more you feed it new ideas and challenges, the stronger and more capable it becomes. So, this isn't just about money. It's a way of living. Growth is a choice you make every day. By staying curious, by understanding how things work, and by being open to new ideas, you don't just build money. You build a rich life, full of possibilities, and the quiet joy of discovery. It's a truth about wealth that goes deeper than dollars. Have you ever thought about what it means to truly know where you're going? Imagine a ship leaving port. If the captain doesn't have a map, doesn't know the exact destination, that ship just drifts. It might sail for a while, but it won't reach a specific place. It won't find treasure. It won't build a new trade route. This is a quiet truth about wealth and about life itself. Here's the thing. People who build real, lasting wealth, they don't just wish for it. They don't just work hard without a direction. They have a deep, clear vision of what they want. It's like they have a blueprint for a building, not just a pile of bricks. They know the exact shape of their dream, the color, the feeling. This idea isn't new. For thousands of years, wise people have talked about this. They understood that if you don't know what you're aiming for, you can't hit it. Every step you take, every choice you make, needs to point towards something real. Think of it like this. A scientist doesn't just mix chemicals hoping for the best. They have a hypothesis, a clear question they want to answer. They set up the experiment with a clear goal. Every measurement, every observation, is aimed at proving or disproving that one specific idea. If they didn't have that clear goal, they'd just be playing in a lab, not discovering anything new. So, setting a clear goal isn't just about making money. It's about giving your energy a true purpose. It's about focusing your efforts like a beam of light. When you know exactly what you're reaching for, the path becomes clearer. Your daily choices make more sense. There's a deep sense of calm that comes from knowing you're moving with intention, not just floating. It's like the universe starts to help you when you show it your true destination. Have you ever wondered why someone with a lot of money still worries about a budget? It might seem strange, like a king counting every crumb. But here's the thing. Rich people don't budget because they're afraid of running out. They budget because it gives them power. It's about knowing exactly what they have and where it's going. This knowledge creates a clear map, showing all their limits and every opportunity. Imagine building a giant Lego city. You have many bricks. If you build without a plan, you might run out of the right pieces for your towers, or use all the rare ones on a small house. Budgeting is like knowing exactly what bricks you have, and deciding where each one goes. This way, your city will be strong and complete, just as planned. You decide where every piece fits, wasting nothing. This idea isn't new. Ancient Roman generals didn't just rush into battle. They counted every soldier, every spear, every loaf of bread. They knew their resources. They planned every move. Even with a mighty army, waste or a wrong step could lead to disaster. It wasn't about being short on supplies. It was about smart planning and using resources wisely for big goals. So, it's not about being cheap or limited. It's about being thoughtful with choices. It's about seeing money not as an endless river, but as a powerful tool. A tool to build the life you want, layer by layer. When you know where your money goes, you feel a quiet confidence. You understand your world better. That understanding brings deep peace, being in control of your own path and your future. It truly sets you free. Have you ever thought about how some things just feel too good to be true? Like finding $20 on the sidewalk? For many wealthy people, easy money often sets off alarms. It's not that they hate good luck, but here's the thing. They know money gained without effort, without creating real value, often doesn't last. It might vanish quickly or come with hidden problems. They see it as unstable, like building a house on sand. Think about old stories, even ancient myths. Heroes often find magic treasures, but these riches usually bring trouble. Wisdom, from many cultures, teaches that lasting prosperity isn't about sudden windfalls. It's about patience, hard work, and building something strong over time. Ancient thinkers, like Seneca, believed real wealth came from being good and wise, not just from what you found. Consider a simple example. Imagine playing a video game. Someone gives you a cheat code for endless coins. It's fun for a minute, but does it feel as good as earning those coins by beating hard levels? Probably not. The effort and growth from playing fair make the win satisfying. That instant, unearned money doesn't teach real skill or strengthen your habits, and that's why it matters to them. So, for those who truly understand wealth, it's not about saying no to good fortune. It's about knowing that lasting abundance is like a sturdy oak tree. It grows slowly, from a tiny seed, over many years. It isn't a mushroom that pops up overnight. There's a deep sense of peace in knowing your wealth comes from real effort, real skill, and real value you've created. Have you ever wondered what rich people truly worry about? We often imagine they have no problems, right? Just endless vacations and fancy things. But here's the thing. Wealth doesn't make fears disappear. Instead, it can bring new ones. It's not just about losing money, though that's a fear for anyone. For the super rich, a deeper fear often takes root. It's the fear of losing control over their image, their legacy, their power. They might fear being seen as a failure, even with millions. They worry about who truly likes them for who they are, not for their money. It's a quiet, gnawing feeling their success could just vanish. Think about ancient times. Even kings, with all their power, lived with constant fear. The Roman philosopher Seneca wrote how being too attached to things, even wealth, could cause suffering. He believed true freedom came from not needing those things. This shows that, for centuries, people knew money doesn't build a shield around your heart. Worries are just part of being human, no matter your status. Imagine you worked super hard to get an amazing score on a big test. You feel great. But then a new worry pops up. Can I do that again? What if I fail the next one? Or, do people only think I'm smart because of this test? It's like that for someone with great wealth. They might worry about keeping their status, or if their kids will understand hard work, or if they're doing enough good. The test of life never ends. The pressure can be immense. So, the biggest fear for many wealthy people isn't just about money. It's about what money represents, their identity, their power, their place in the world. And the thought of losing that, or having it questioned, can be terrifying. It reminds us that peace of mind isn't something you can buy. It's something you find within yourself, no matter how much you have. True security is knowing who you are, beyond anything you own. Do you ever wonder if rich people worry about money like we do? If they get stressed, or if their lives are just smooth? Here's the thing. They do worry. Money, no matter how much you have, still brings its own stress. But what makes them different is how they handle that worry. It's not about ignoring problems. It's about changing how they react. They see money as a tool, not the source of all happiness or sadness. They focus on what they can control, actions, learning, or time. They try to let go of what they cannot control, like sudden economic changes. This is their mindset, a quiet strength. Thinkers discussed this for ages. Thousands of years ago, Greek philosophers, like the Stoics, believed you can't always control what happens. You can't stop the rain, but you can choose to carry an umbrella. The rain is outside control. Your choice to prepare is inside. They practiced separating what they could change from what they couldn't. It's like building a shield for your mind. Imagine you're playing a tough video game. You get frustrated when losing. But a good player doesn't quit or blame the game. They pause, learn from mistakes, try a new strategy. They see game over not as failure, but a chance to get better. A puzzle. Money worries can feel like that tough level. Rich people often see challenges as problems to solve, not scary monsters. They look for solutions. So, having money doesn't make all stress disappear. It's that the truly wealthy, the calm ones, train their minds to see challenges differently. They learn to accept what is, act on what they can, and calmly let go of the rest. This thinking helps you, no matter your money. It's about building inner strength, finding a quiet peace even when things are uncertain. A deeper wealth. Have you ever wondered if you're being paid what you're truly worth? Or, if you're doing something for free, whether that work actually has hidden value? Here's a quiet truth about people who build wealth. They understand the exact moments to speak up for their value. They don't just wait to be offered more. They actively create the opportunity to ask for it. This isn't about being pushy, but about a deep understanding of their own contribution. Think about it like this. Imagine a marketplace long ago, where people traded goods. A farmer had apples. A weaver had cloth. If the farmer's apples were truly the best, crisp, sweet, rare, everyone wanted them. The farmer knew his apples were worth more than just any ordinary apple. He could ask for more cloth, or something else of greater value, because he had something excellent and hard to find. This isn't just about getting more. It's about recognizing the unique worth you bring to any exchange. This idea stretches back through human history. Think of ancient artisans who made incredible sculptures. They didn't just accept whatever payment was tossed their way. They knew their skill, their unique art, was special. They understood that their hands, their vision, deserved a particular price. It's about seeing your own contribution clearly, without letting shyness make you underestimate it. They recognize when their value has grown, and they don't shy away from that fact. Here's an analogy that might feel closer to home. Imagine you're on a sports team. You've spent countless extra hours practicing, even staying late to help newer players understand plays. Your skills have improved greatly. You're now a vital part of the team's success, perhaps even the reason for recent wins. When it comes time for team selections or leadership roles, you wouldn't just expect to be treated like any other player who put in minimal effort. You'd know deep down your dedication and improved performance make you worth a top spot. You've earned that recognition, and you quietly expect it. That understanding of your increased value is a powerful thing. So, this isn't just about money or getting rich. It's about self-respect. It's about truly understanding that your effort, your growing skills, and your valuable time have a real worth. It's about having the quiet courage to voice that worth, not in an arrogant way, but in a way that truly respects the journey you've taken to get where you are. It's a subtle strength, knowing your true place in the exchange of value. And that's why it matters. Have you ever stopped to think about what truly makes a person rich, beyond just money? It's easy to focus on bank accounts. But here's the thing. Real wealth, the kind that lasts and makes life meaningful, isn't just dollars. It's counted in connections. Think about successful people. It's rarely just their ideas. It's also those who believed in them. Friends, mentors, family, offering support. Humans are built to connect. Ancient thinkers, like Aristotle, spoke about how our happiness depends on community. He believed no one thrives alone. It's like a sturdy bridge. A bridge isn't one huge piece. It's many strong beams connected, sharing weight. If one part is weak, the whole bridge struggles. Your life is a bit like that bridge. Each good relationship is a strong beam. These connections hold you up when shaky, provide new ideas, and give comfort when things go wrong. When you treat people with kindness, building trust. This isn't about using people. It's genuine connection. When tough times hit or new chances appear, these connections make the biggest difference. Someone with many true friends, even without much money, often finds more happiness and solutions than someone with millions but no one to share it with. So, when we talk about wealth, remember it's also about the richness of your human connections. The deepest kind of wealth isn't what you buy, but what you build with others. It's the quiet strength of friendship, the calm power of a helping hand, and the warm glow of belonging. That's a truth worth holding on to. Have you ever wondered why some people, often those with a lot of money, talk about it in a way that just doesn't click for everyone else? It's not that they're smarter, or that they have some secret code. It's simpler, but also much deeper. They just see money differently. For most of us, money is something we earn and then spend. It's for buying things. Food, clothes, a new video game. It's a way to get what we want right now, or maybe save up for a big purchase later, like a car. But for many who become truly wealthy, money isn't just about spending. It's a tool. Think about it like this. If you have a wrench, you don't just admire the wrench. You use it to fix something, to build something. Money, for them, is like that wrench, or maybe a whole set of tools. They see its purpose as helping them create more, not just consume. Ancient thinkers, even long ago, understood this idea of resources. They knew that a rich harvest wasn't just about eating all the grain today. It was about saving some seeds to plant for next year, to ensure there would be more food later. That's a very old way of thinking about wealth. It's not what you have right now, but what you can grow from what you have. It's about understanding how things multiply. Here's an everyday example. Imagine you have a small garden plot. Most people might see it as a place to grow a few vegetables for dinner. But someone who thinks about wealth differently sees that same plot and imagines it as a system. They think about the soil, the water, the sunlight, the right seeds. They don't just want a few tomatoes. They want to create conditions where tomatoes can keep growing, year after year, and maybe even enough to share or sell. They invest in the soil, not just the single plant. So, it's not about being greedy or always wanting more stuff. It's about seeing money as energy or as a seed. It's something you can direct, something you can plant, so it grows into something bigger. It becomes less about mine and more about how can this create. This shift in how they view money, from a simple object to a powerful system, changes everything about how they act. It's a quiet understanding that can change the world around you, even with just a little. Have you ever looked at someone successful and wondered if they just work all the time? Is it truly about grinding away every single hour, pushing yourself to the very limit? Here's the thing. Often, the truly wealthy, the people who build lasting things, don't just work hard, they work smart. Working hard means putting in a lot of effort, and that's important, of course. But working smart means thinking about how you put in that effort. It means finding the best way to do something, not just the longest way. Think about the ancient Greek philosopher, Archimedes. He once said, "Give me a place to stand, and a lever long enough, and I will move the world." He wasn't talking about brute strength. He was talking about using a simple tool, a lever, to multiply his power. He understood the hidden rules of physics and how to use them. That's smart work. Here's an example you might know. Studying for a big test. You could spend hours just staring at your textbook, rereading pages over and over. That's hard work. But what if you organized your notes, made flashcards, or even tried to explain the material to a friend? Scientists who study the brain tell us that teaching someone else helps you learn and remember far better. You're using your brain in a clever way, not just forcing information into it. You're working with how your mind naturally learns. This idea of working smart isn't just about saving time. It's about seeing the hidden patterns. It's about understanding what truly makes a difference and focusing your energy there. It's a quiet kind of wisdom, a way of looking at the world and asking, is there a better way to do this? It's not about being lazy. It's about being effective, about finding that invisible lever that multiplies your efforts, and that can make all the difference. Have you ever stopped to think about what truly makes you feel rich? Not just with money, but with a full, truly free feeling? Here's the thing. Many people chasing wealth often miss a big secret. It's the hidden power of simple living. This isn't about giving up everything you own. It's about choosing towers less stuff on purpose. This lets you have more of what matters. Imagine your backpack. If it's overflowing, heavy with things you don't really need, it's hard to move, right? Life can be like that. Too much stuff clutters our minds, eats our time. This idea has been around for centuries. Ancient thinkers knew true happiness wasn't about having more things. They found peace focusing on what they could control. Their thoughts, their inner calm. Needing less gave them more freedom. It's like a scientist simplifying an experiment. Remove extra variables, and you see the core truth more clearly. Take away distractions, and you see what's truly important. Think about your phone. Too many unused apps can make it slow and cluttered. But if you delete them, your phone runs faster, feels lighter, and is easier to use. Simple living works like that for your life. So, simple living isn't about being poor. It's about being smart with your energy and time. It clears out the noise so you can hear your own thoughts, connect with people, enjoy the world around you. It's finding richness not in getting, but in letting go. It brings a calm kind of peace. Have you ever wondered how some people just don't get caught by money problems? It's like they have a secret map. Well, it's not magic. Here's the thing. It's mostly about how they think and how they act with money. Rich people, the ones who stay rich, see money differently. They don't just see it as something to spend today. They see it as a tool. Like a builder using a hammer to make a strong house, they use money to build a strong financial future. They think ahead, not just about now. Even ancient thinkers, long before banks, talked about self-control. They knew mastering desires, wanting everything right now, could master your life. This idea of delayed reward, choosing smart today for a better tomorrow, is a core truth. It's about controlling your impulses. Imagine a ship captain avoiding hidden rocks. They study maps and steer clear of traps. It's like that with money. Rich people build their finances like a careful captain sails their ship. They put in safeguards. They save for unexpected storms. They invest in different places so if one area gets rocky, their whole ship doesn't sink. They focus on avoiding pitfalls. So it's not just about earning a lot. It's about protecting what you have and making smart moves so you don't lose it. This way of thinking is a quiet strength. It means pausing before you buy, thinking about tomorrow's opportunities, and building a life that can stand strong. It's about making choices that give you lasting freedom, not just instant fun. Have you ever stopped to wonder how truly smart people become so smart? It's not just about textbooks or fancy degrees. Here's a deep truth about wealth and wisdom. Those who truly gain it, they learn from everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean literally everyone, even the smallest child. They don't have pride that stops them from seeing a lesson. Think about it this way. For a long time, thinkers like the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates said true wisdom was knowing how much you didn't know. He wasn't afraid to ask simple questions, even to people who seemed less educated. He knew the simplest view can sometimes hold the biggest truth. It's like fresh eyes looking at something complicated, seeing it without old ideas. Here's an example. Imagine scientists studying how to build stronger bridges. They use complex formulas and computer models. But then, a child in kindergarten, playing with blocks, stacks them in a way no adult considered. The child's structure looks weird, maybe unstable to an adult, but it holds. Why? The child isn't limited by what's supposed to work. They just experiment. A smart engineer wouldn't laugh. Instead, they might ask the child, "How did you think of that?" They would truly try to understand the child's raw, open approach. This can help them find a new idea. So, here's the thing. True wisdom isn't just about what you know. It's how open you are to what you don't know, and how willing you are to find it anywhere. It means listening more than you talk. It means understanding that every person, no matter their age or background, holds a piece of understanding you might need. This reminds us that being humble isn't weakness. It's the strongest path to growth. When we stop believing we know it all, we truly begin to learn. Have you ever wondered why truly wealthy people rarely show off their riches? It's not just about being humble. There's a deeper reason. For many, money becomes less about what it can buy and more about what it represents: power, control, or even quiet scorekeeping. It's often seen as a private matter, almost sacred. Talking about it too much can weaken its hold or invite unwanted attention. Think of a secret garden. You enjoy its beauty, but you wouldn't tell everyone where it is or how much effort it took. For centuries, societies often felt mixed about showing off wealth. Some ancient cultures saw extreme riches as an insult to the gods or community, attracting envy. Kings and emperors displayed power, but often the true power lay in what was not seen: hidden reserves, quiet influence. Philosophers talked about how money, if too openly worshipped, could corrupt a person's spirit. It's like a powerful current that can pull you in many directions. So, the less you talk about the current, the more you control your boat. Imagine a really skilled chess player. They don't usually brag about every brilliant move they make, do they? Instead, they focus on the game, the strategy, the quiet win. Talking about each piece they're about to take wouldn't help them win. In fact, it might give away their next move. Wealth can be a bit like that. It's a strategic game, and revealing too much about your financial pieces or your moves can put you at a disadvantage. It can invite people to ask for things, to envy, or to try and figure out your strategy. So, for many wealthy people, silence about their money isn't just politeness. It's a way of protecting what they've built, of maintaining control, and of keeping their focus on what's next, rather than what's already done. It reminds us that true strength often whispers, while weakness tends to shout. Perhaps, in their quietness, there's a lesson for us all. That some of the most valuable things in life are best held close, not shown off for everyone to see. Have you ever stopped to think about what it truly feels like to be wealthy? Most people imagine fancy cars or huge houses. But here's the thing. Real wealth feels much deeper than that. It's not just about what you can buy. It's a quiet feeling, like a deep breath you didn't know you needed to take. Imagine it this way. For hundreds of years, wise people have talked about this. They said true richness isn't about having a lot of stuff, but about having a calm spirit and being free. It's about knowing you have enough and that you are safe. This feeling gives you peace of mind. It means you don't spend all your time worrying about what might happen next or wishing for more. Think about it like this. You know that feeling when you've finished all your homework early? Or when you've planned out your whole week and you know exactly what you need to do and you have time for fun stuff too? That feeling of being prepared, of not rushing, of knowing things are handled, that's a small taste of what real wealth feels like. It's a quiet confidence. It means you have choices, not just things. You can choose how to spend your time. You can choose who you spend it with. You have a sense of control over your own days, and that lessens the stress you carry. So, real wealth isn't about having a giant pile of money. It's the feeling that comes from having your basic needs met, yes, but also from having your mind at ease. It's knowing you can make your own path, that you are resilient, and that you have peace inside. It's a feeling of deep, quiet freedom, and it's something anyone can work towards, no matter how much money is in their pocket. It's a state of being, not just a state of owning. Have you ever thought about what real wealth means? Here's the thing. For many, the real goal isn't just money. It's about freedom. Freedom means having choices. It's control over your time, your decisions, and your peace of mind. Money helps, yes, but it's not the whole story. People have thought about this for a long time. Even ancient thinkers knew true wealth wasn't just about gold or power. They believed it was about being free from things that controlled you, like constantly wanting more, or being afraid to lose what you have. If your happiness depends on stuff, they said you aren't really free. You're tied down by those desires. And that's why it matters. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're stuck in a job you hate, or always worried about losing things, are you truly free? Think about this. Imagine two kids. One has every fancy toy, but no free time. They're always rushing to activities, always busy, never a moment to just be. Now, the other kid, maybe they don't have as many expensive things, but they have lots of free time after school. They choose to ride their bike, or hang out with friends, or just read. Who feels more free each day? It's not about the stuff. It's about being able to choose how you spend your precious time. So, when we talk about wealth, let's think about it differently. It's not just about money in the bank. It's about building a life where you have the power to make your own choices. It's about deciding what you do, who you spend time with, and how you truly feel. That kind of freedom? That's a quiet, deep richness money alone can't buy. It's about building a life you truly want to live, on your own terms, feeling truly at peace.